Hey, Patriots fans, if you want to see Toyota's best offers, including those not seen on TV, go to buyatoyota.com. It's Toyota's official website for deals from the official vehicle of the New England Patriots. Toyota, let's go buy a snow shovel.
Some of the content of Patriots Unfiltered may not be suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
The world's original podcast.
Welcome to Patriots Unfiltered.
You don't listen to me anymore, Paul.
I don't, and I'm really upset with myself.
You don't give me flowers.
I'm sorry.
anymore.
I'm sorry. Can I itch a scratch for a second?
Sure.
You just brought up Mac Jones.
Scratch and itch?
Like, I've heard that like 10 times by my boys on my show. I'm
Yeah.
out on him. He cried.
It's not even...
Okay.
Yeah.
As long as we're being rational about it.
Right.
What happened to Chick-fil-A?
We got to take a break. I got to go get it.
Did you forget?
Oh, are you kidding me? You mean to tell me that if I said we're going to take a break, you could have gone and gotten it?
Why don't you go
Why
get
don't
it?
you say so?
Go get it. Go get it now. We'll take a break.
Out of here.
I'm really upset with Deuce.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
If you don't get
sure.
there right away, there's a risk that they run out. They were giving it out at 12:30, and here it is 1:30, and he hasn't gone yet.
You know he's coming back with
or
nothing.
it's cold.
But-
What's he
Not good, Bob.
thinking?
This is what happens. I put him in charge
Just
of
the
lunch
wrong
one
person.
day.
That's an error.
Oh, God.
What?
There
Yeah.
was one left.
He has one.
That's it?
sandwich.
No, I don't need it.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh,
He's got 4.
wow. Okay.
This is Patriots Unfiltered.
Presented by Toyota's official website for deals, buyatoyota.com.
All right, welcome to Patriots Unfiltered. It is Thursday here at Gillette Stadium, and boy, we had to come in and like douse the room. It was on fire after the Catch-22
Oh, God.
show.
Because
Contentious energy.
Everybody, if you think he's going to be a Super Bowl quarterback, if I had a crystal ball to tell you that
We're still on fire.
everybody could be a Super Bowl quarterback, then who would ever draft wrong?
Anyway, it's Deuce, it's Alex.
My work is
so
done here.
She must have had a good week. It's Evan,
I've been here
Paul,
every Thursday.
myself, and Matt in the booth. And yes, Catch-22, we are following that. And if you didn't catch it, listen to it on the podcast
Thank
because
you.
I thought it was very entertaining. I thought it was, as much as they were going at each other, I think it was a good conversation with some good information, differing opinions, but I loved it. It was really a good show. So
Nice.
yeah.
Have conviction.
Yeah, and
Take the quarterback.
Maybe we'll follow up with that conversation later in the show, but we've got a lot to talk about. Obviously, it's Jets week.
Yeah.
And like I said in the roundup, Deuce, snow be damned. We're going to beat the Jets.
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah.
I think everybody thinks so.
I don't know.
Unless it's like, the Patriots turn the ball over 6 times, which is certainly possible.
Yeah.
But the Jets might turn it over 7 if the Patriots turn it over 6.
It's who knows what's going to happen in this game.
No.
Jets games are always weird.
Yeah.
Usually, Paul, and you probably won't back me up here, but I'll say it anyway.
I'm going to back you up no matter what now, just for that.
In a given season, the 2 games against the Jets are different.
Oh, I would wholeheartedly agree with that.
They're never
Absolutely.
the same.
Yeah.
One game never mirrors the other.
No, I mean, even like that 2010 season where like the Jets beat them the week 2. I mean, I think it was like close to at halftime, and then the Jets just pulled away, and then the Patriots hammered them here, and then like 3 weeks later, the Jets came back in and eliminated them from the playoffs.
Yeah, usually the games are very different.
The 16-game winning streak featured a reasonable amount of competitive games in New York and blowouts in Foxborough. Now, not always, but
The playoff game, was it 09, 010?
10.
010.
010.
That was like the most shocking Patriots loss that I can remember.
49, whatever it was.
Because I remember them destroying them in the regular season, and it was like 2 different. They were playing 2 different sports at that point.
We've gone into the playoffs being
was my
sure we're
memory.
going to win that first game many times, but I can't remember being more sure that we're going to beat the Jets, and then we lost that game.
There was no trepidation, though, of just, I don't know, there's something weird about you just beat a divisional opponent, and usually they those, like you said, those games are always so like swinging back and forth. I was definitely a little bit concerned, and then just the way the game unfolded, you knew it's like, oh man, this is not going
Rex
our
Ryan
way.
had it. He had it down. He knew exactly what he needed to do, and they executed.
And Sanchez played the game of his life, and I mean that Patriots defense just preyed on turnovers. They needed turnovers so badly to overcome how bad they were, and I don't think they nary got a turnover. I mean, I think what it was. David Harris maybe picked off Brady and took it back like first or second possession, something like that.
That lazy pass, remember?
The lazy.
Oh, just
the
lazy
lazy
pass.
pass.
Yeah, I know what
The
you're
lazy
saying,
pass.
though. Yeah,
Yeah, it was supposed to be like a screen or a thumb. Yeah.
And a Crumpler drop one too. I
Algie
think
Crumpler. Yeah.
It's amazing. I got like Paul memory of that game because I was
going to say too. So I don't want to see any more of your squinty eyes at me. That was pretty.
I know
the Algie Crumpler and
hurt, Paul.
which by the way I just realized that's a difficult name for me to say.
Algie Crumpler.
In identifying David Harris as the guy who intercepted the pass. That's
and he came to the Patriots for like
he did.
Was he here even? Yeah, he was here a year, wasn't he?
He did.
Yeah.
I think Fred still thinks he's on the team. He still refers to him quite often.
Yeah.
Damian Harris now.
Yeah. All right. So we got the Jets. We're going to do picks later. We'll find out what everyone thinks about that and all the other games.
It sounds like
going on.
Sounds like not crazy snow. At least in the latest report, maybe like 3 to 5, and nothing crazy.
Well,
it
we have to look
like
at Foxborough because it differs where you live in New England.
Sharon.
But I've heard anything from 3 to 10 here.
Yeah. Well,
that's 3 to 10. Those are my favorites.
Those are a large range.
Yeah, but they also, one person I heard this morning said that it's going to keep snowing. So a total accumulation could be 10, but it won't feel that way because it'll take a long time and the roads will be cleared throughout. And so it won't have the impact of a sudden 10 inches.
It'll just be by the end of the game, no one can leave. Now you can't leave, and maybe it's for the best. We all just stay here on Sunday night, camp out.
Well, usually that's what we do, and we're able to get right out. But if the fans are stuck here too,
we have to dig out our cars.
Yeah. We're having an elongated post-game show.
Yeah, sure.
What's the
4 hours? I mean, Hardy, we're not going to let him go. We don't.
Just
keep it
going.
We'll
lock Hardy in the studio.
I think we should just keep going.
Paul, we should tell Hardy that Fred said, tell him this in the pregame show. Fred said that because it's your last postgame, he wants to do 4 hours.
Yeah,
and
you owe him 2 more
and
hours.
The potential for it to be Bill's last game. We wanted to.
How about he's got to make
special.
up the hour that he ditched on Christmas Eve? Or we need to make that up because I'm not paying you full rate if you don't give me an extra hour now.
Yeah.
So.
Now, do you want me to wait till you get here?
No, you just say it. I'll try to watch and get his reaction.
Okay. Oh yeah, you'll be here, Fred. So you
because he'll react differently if I'm not here.
I'll say, "Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you." Like during the pregame.
Yeah.
Right. And Fred will be like, "No, that's what we're doing. We got to go longer.
Yeah.
It's snowing. Where do you got to go?"
But I'm not going to be able to carry that through. He's gonna die.
Yeah. All right. So we got the Jets. We also have to talk about this Andrew Callahan
and
story.
Doug Hyde.
Oh, I didn't. Doug Hyde had a story.
Yeah, they were both on there. They were both on it. They're kind of like Andrew and Karen did last year. So it's,
they
credit where credit's due.
They tag teamed on that one. I thought it was a good story. I thought there was some good information there. What I gleaned from it was that Bill had enough hand in the offense to kind of screw things up, and I don't mean that in a bad way. In other words, he was kind of involved, but he wasn't involved enough in that people. It wasn't organized. It was, dysfunctional is a word that a lot of people use, but people weren't on the same page when it came to the offense.
Well, I mean, what I kind of took from it was that kind of refusal to allow new people to come into the building, especially with Bill O'Brien.
Well, that's part of it.
Was the biggest issue.
That's where I talk about Bill's involvement. Like he wasn't willing to just hand it over to Bill O'Brien.
Yeah. And also the mention that was, not really an offensive coordinator search done in good faith.
Right.
It was more, lip service. And
as I sort of opined at the time, again, this is a report with
with
a bunch of anonymous quotes, but I don't think Bill wanted to move on from Matt Patricia.
Yes.
I think that's what Bill wanted to. He wanted to see it through, and I think he felt like it was working.
No, nothing that was in there really felt out of left field to me. It was just kind of details like
good stuff.
Good
stuff if accurate.
And you wonder, is this the first time on major issues when it came to the team that Bill didn't get his way?
Mm-hmm.
And you wonder if his reaction of not getting his way was, we'll see what happens. And so he didn't buy into the ultimate decision.
Fred, I love it. That's
the
next level.
I think the pettiness.
Oh, yeah? Yeah.
Well, I want to.
You're going to make me do all that to the offense? Here's the first 3 picks, all on defense.
I want to stop short of using that word. But, there's a certain resignation maybe. I know this isn't going to work. So.
I love your next level.
I mean,
I
just feel like none of it worked. And I mean, going back to Matt Patricia and then wanting to run, I mean, nothing was working. And I mean, really what had to have happened, I think, was, a total house remake of the offense from, not Bill's buddies, but the things that we talk about. Like in 2020, we had to say, we don't have Brady anymore. We need to reestablish this offense and go in a different direction. And sorry, Josh, but I mean that would have taken huge cojones to get rid of Josh while he was still here. But I mean, in hindsight, that's probably the only thing that could have really made any difference is redoing the offense, because I mean Troy Brown doesn't come out looking great in this thing. Adrian Clem sure doesn't, and these are all things that we've talked about. There's nothing that we're like, oh my God, this is groundbreaking. But it's like Adrian Clem yelling at Matt Groh. It's like we've been yelling at Matt Groh on the show like that. Why haven't you not drafted tackle?
I think that was my biggest takeaway about it was the assistant coaching staff and the fact that it's this like smorgasbord of like holdovers. Yep. Adrian Clem, one Bill O'Brien guy, and Will Lawing. Like, it doesn't make any sense, when you really think about it that way. And I don't necessarily think it's like the offensive system, but I hate the term brain drain, but like the brain drain of Ivan Fears and Dante Scarnecchia and all the guys that Josh took to Vegas with him, like all of that was never replenished. And instead of giving Bill O'Brien the power to hire his own guys and to build his own staff on that side of the ball, they kind of saddled him with some of these coaches that weren't very good. And on Adrian Clem, now that it's like reported and out there, it seemed to me like there was real issues that weren't just health related going on with Adrian Clem's performance. Yeah, it was
super fishy.
Yeah. And there was a lot of just tension, I think, between him and Bill O'Brien and him in that room. And the thing that they had in there about James Ferentz basically coaching is something that we have been aware of for a while now as well. So all that I think is spot on. And like that, the fact that a player has to essentially coach, and I think David Andrews is kind of in that boat as well, as sort of another guy that's player coaching at this point, like, because they don't have the right guys in place to run the offensive line is a major indictment on the head coach.
I would just say, like, I kind of have a little different view of it. Maybe I feel like what Bill was trying to do was reestablish the Dante Scarnecchia. He was trying to bring in Matt Patricia and let everybody grow together. I think like that's how I kind of viewed it, was that what he was trying to do was put pieces in place and let them stay here and let them gain experience. And and that's why I think his refusal to let Bill O'Brien, let Bill O'Brien hire a staff, like let him determine who the offensive line coach is. It seems like those moves were kind of made independently, and he was just kind of stuck with them.
I think it was, you're not going to do what I want? Okay, well, we'll see how it works out. And so he didn't put the energy into the offense that he normally would. Yeah. But you did see the results on the defense.
I have a couple of questions about it in terms of, so back to, and I agree with Evan and Mike about the big takeaway to me is about the structure of the assistants and everything. And, it was termed in there, they wouldn't allow Bill O'Brien to pick and choose his staff. Mm-hmm. So is that a Belichick, I'm going back to the money.
Yeah.
Is that a Belichick, edict, no, you're going to make do with these guys because that's part of the coaching budget thing that we've heard about? Right. I think there's a lot of different
it could
vagaries that are not good. None of them are good. None of the options, none of the possibilities
we're assuming Bill just said, no, you can't do it. But it could have been a budget thing. It could have been, you can't because we just don't have the budget.
But I'm wondering if that's Bill's, that whole report that Bill
it could be
sort
of,
right.
It may
the
not
Crafts
have been
give Belichick money for the staff and he doles it out as he deems fit, which if that's the case and that's why, that's a problem.
Yeah.
And the other thing I kind of found, I vacillated back and forth to, wow, Clem has been a disaster, to Clem is a sympathetic figure in this story. He's trying to coach in a different way. He's trying to sort of modernize the way he's coaching. And then he leaves the team, and they go back to, it's kind of like I was thinking of Cam Newton. When I was out for a week, they changed the whole offense. They go back and they just start teaching it the old way.
Right.
That's not good either. You're undermining your own coaches, even if you think he's doing it wrong. Yeah. At this point, it's too late. It's the middle of the season. Right. You can't just change the way he's doing everything. So I kind of felt, on one hand, Clem doesn't come across very well in this story. And on the other hand, I was like, well, they didn't really seem like they gave him much of a chance.
Right. And I was sympathetic with him when it said he was yelling at Matt Groh of this is what you give me.
Well, see, I'm sympathetic for that. Obviously, on the surface, he's right. But is that the way to do it?
Right. No, that's fair. I was a little disappointed, though. I didn't feel like there was much quality insight into Mac and how they they kind of offered both sides of it, which is just what one side said you can't turn the ball over, another side said we don't believe him anymore.
Yeah.
So
whether or not you think Mac's could have been good or will be, it was a bad situation for any quarterback to be in.
Yeah,
and I thought that was illustrated in the story.
Yeah.
But it's just why, I think it goes back to that question of, why did the offense get worse this year? I mean, this certainly shed some light on it, but at least from Mac's point of view, bringing Bill O'Brien in, you would have thought that would have helped him a little bit, and it doesn't even seem like it broke any of the bad, vibes from last season.
But I get back to Fred's point, his next level point. Like, is it part of the reason why it didn't work is because they didn't embrace it? Like, I think that part of the reason Matt Patricia didn't work last year is because Mac Jones didn't embrace it. This year, I'm wondering, did Bill Belichick really not want to do it this way? And it's kind of doomed to fail. If the guy that's most important in the operation isn't on board with it, like, how is it going to work?
Yeah. And even Bill O'Brien, everybody probably had a little bit of to blame here. And the other thing that I took out of this is, whoever the source was says that usually you get to spend more time with your unit, with your position coach.
I thought that was odd too, Fred.
And O'Brien had more offensive, all offense meetings, and you didn't have all that time with your position coach. And I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
That does change things.
Because I think that's O'Brien's way of saying I don't trust those guys to do it the right way, so I have to do it all myself.
Exactly, Mike.
but I mean, would it be fair then, Fred, to call your I forget what Paul said, next level or whatever it was, macro look? Is that self-sabotage? And I mean, what did he think the result was going to be? Because we're staring down.
It was apathy.
I'll talk about that off here.
Yeah, I think there was a certain apathy by Bill toward the offense, and it starts with Bill O'Brien all the way to Jones and beyond.
But you could say that last year too. I feel like when he put Patricia in place and we started to see it all kind of failing, we were like, what is his deal? Is it a stubbornness, or is it that like he is so unwilling to bring anyone new in that's not in his inner circle, that he doesn't trust?
I think that's why he did it, but I do think he honestly thought it could work. I agreed. I thought it could work too. I'm not going to be a fraud.
I think that too, and I think to take it a step further,
I think he still could.
I think he thinks it was working.
Yeah,
it was getting better, and it was going to be fine.
Yeah, I think
much like after they lost by 30 points, he's asking if it was a one-game, one-off.
As Callahan said in the story, and Paul said it last year, others too. If it was up to Bill, he would have stuck with them. And I'm talking Patricia.
I wonder how it would have played out if the Callahan story from last year didn't necessarily come out and expose the Joe Judge stuff and the issues they had on the offense. And it kind of put the fire to Kraft's feet in a way. Like, did he feel the pressure externally so much that he finally had to step in and be like, we have to do something just for optics?
That's a really good point.
Send a letter to the fans.
Because Robert's not in the weeds. Like, he's not doing what we're doing every day and dissecting every play of every game. So that story comes out, and it really illustrates to him, just how dysfunctional it was.
Yeah, and it's not to say that Kraft read the story and said,
no.
But if those things really happened.
But the headlines were every single day.
If those things really happened, Kraft knows about it. He
and
knew
now
about it before the story came out.
So the story, but what I'm saying is now this story comes out, it obviously, going back to last year, it obviously got a lot of play. And now Robert's like, what's going on? What is all this stuff? What does this mean? What happened? And he's getting the answers from, probably the guys that are involved.
Yeah.
I was surprised Joe Judge kind of dodged any bad stuff too in that. I was kind of waiting for that to come. I'm like, where's the Joe Judge?
Yeah,
the
this one didn't have as much. This one didn't have as much meat to it as the one last year, but I thought they were both really good.
Yeah.
I thought again, I know that there's a lot of people that are traditional and they don't enjoy anything negative, but more importantly, when it's negative and it's tied to an anonymous source, it tends to get ignored.
Yeah.
Well, the guy didn't have enough guts to put his name to it. Like, I don't look at it that way.
Yeah.
I take the stuff, there's every single thing in that, like, fact verbatim, maybe not. But what you have to go through, and this is the reason why I like to have the name to it, because now you can attach the name and say, oh, well, that's the way Alex looked at it. Alex, she wanted it to be this way, so
angle?
obviously her angle is to accentuate this. That's the only thing missing is you don't know.
The one thing I thought was interesting is, there's a lot of stories that have unnamed sources, but usually the writer doesn't write they all talked on the agreement of anonymity.
Fear of retribution. Yeah.
Right.
It's like, do they need to enter the witness protection program? What are we doing?
That was kind of weird, like why he felt he had to write that.
I thought that was weird,
because
too.
obviously you're unnamed source because you don't want people to know you say it, but he felt he had to
I thought that was weird, too.
Yeah.
And I'm going to take it a step further and just, like, back to the entirety of the 2023 season, the only storyline. Is that an indication that whoever's talking isn't sure what Bill's going to be?
Right.
Like, what his status is going to be?
Yeah,
that's fair. No,
or do you just look at Bill as one of those guys? I don't really care if he's here or not. I don't want to burn that bridge.
Well, and also Bill has tentacles throughout the league.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like whether he's here or not.
Yeah.
If I'm say Troy Brown, I don't want to say anything and get him on my bad side.
No, Trent Brown too, were a tough one for him with.
Well, he's the only one that evidently didn't care.
Yeah. Right. No, and I don't know.
That might be my best call ever.
I joked with Paul coming in. So, all this. I think we're both getting a little bit like they haven't quit, and I'm like, Trent Brown's kind of quit.
Juju kind of quit.
The self-proclaimed best player on offense. He's kind of quit.
Self-proclaimed best player on offense.
Yeah,
just him.
So that story's out there.
And again, that's Boston Herald, Andrew Callahan, Doug Kyde.
Yep.
Just a lot of anonymous quotes, but just kind of a look at the offensive dysfunction.
And as we go into the last game of the season, I won't be surprised if other stories leak out, especially Sunday morning.
Oh yeah.
Prior to the game.
I mean, it started before Christmas with the Geron story, which to me clearly seems like it was a lot of assistant offensive coaches who are really squirmy right now.
Yeah.
And Gerard addressed that stuff yesterday, so the timing of this one's kind of funny today.
Gerard seemed a little shook, and then I'm not a big Instagram guy, but I happen to be on Instagram, and he posted like this reel of someone like, a real leader tells you the things that you need to do to get. It was like this. I'm like, whoa, boy, this is very easy
cryptic,
to draw.
yeah.
So it's very easy to draw.
Should we
the
talk about
parallels
that a little bit too? Like, I thought that was a little different.
Gerard's
answers,
yeah. I thought it was a little rambling. I think what he said made sense, but
I like that he took some accountability for it.
Yeah,
I'll say that.
It
seemed like he really reflected upon it and took it to, I don't want to say heart, but
I would rather have my leaders not necessarily respond
but when
to
you
that.
start addressing anonymous stuff, then you go down a rabbit hole.
Right.
Well,
I don't. I mean,
is there something in between we're on to the Jets and that 2-minute diatribe?
Right. Yeah, right. No, that's probably
that's
the
what I would look
ideal
for.
response. I don't know and I just feel like this article kind of just reframed things from a little bit of a different perspective. It looks like the same story that we've all kind of considered and talked about, but I stand here right now completely unsure of anything. Yeah. Anything. Like, where's Geron going to end up? What's going to happen with Bill? I have no clue right now if somebody will be back, if nobody will be back. I feel like it runs the gamut right now.
And I feel like a lot of defensive
you'll
players
be back, Paul.
are super loyal to Gerard. I mean, there was a story that came out. I forget who wrote it today, but I read in the clips. One of the players saying he won't be back if Gerard's not back here next year. He wants it to work out, but Gerard's his guy. So it just speaks to the offense versus defense rift we've kind of felt all year. But now was it even defense versus offense, or was it just like the offense individually alone on an island?
It is a problem. We talked about before the season, what would it take for Bill Belichick to not continue here? And I use those words carefully because
I say it, and
and
a lot of the things that have happened are what we said.
It'll be less the record. And it'll be more what's going on in the locker room. Is he losing? Is the message not being heard?
Is there a division?
Is there a division? Is there squabbling? Is there – and this is what this story's about.
Yeah, squabbles.
Yeah.
No, I wanted more out of Juju, too. I was looking for, like, some kind of nugget on Juju. Like, he started to walk into the, like and it didn't work out immediately. Like,
it's kind of like the way I feel about, like, comparing the two stories from last year to this year. I think there was more – like, he introduced a lot of topics – and didn't have. I mean, I'm sure he didn't get it. I'm sure he didn't leave it out. He didn't get the level of detail from the sources that I thought he did last year. Like Clem yelling at Matt Groh.
Right.
It was just kind of stated as a fact. And
I just think there's a super story there about the decision to let Jacoby go and to swap him for Juju and why and what was their ill will towards Jacoby?
You had a homegrown wide receiver, and the money was the same. It's because he sided with the quarterback last year.
I mean, and that's what we've kind of speculated or talked about. But I was thinking we were going to get some kind of insight into that.
And this is why when, and listen, doesn't mean I'm right. It might turn out that I'm 1,000% wrong, but people just keep on saying, well, I know he can still coach. I know he can still coach. That's coaching. When you can't recognize what's best for the team, might not necessarily be best for you at that particular moment. And it's, everybody just says it's all X's and O's. Well, yeah, I know, but there's nobody that's better at X's and O's than Bill. But this is part of coaching. It's not just personnel. Yeah. I think if you asked Bill Belichick who he thought was a better player for his team before they made that move, he would have said Jacoby Myers.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yet he's not here for other reasons.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's a singular example of that. I think there are other examples like that I think have become more prevalent the last couple of years.
Yeah, I should point out, too, like at the end of the article, they do give Bill like a little credit just in terms of, one of the sources saying, every week he's standing up there telling us what we have to do.
That was the best quote.
We can't do it.
What we effing need to do, and we just effing don't do it.
And I would love to know who said that because, I've heard that before. He tells you what's going to happen.
That's a very common.
I would love to know what were those things that he said were going to happen that happened.
Yeah, well, don't turn the ball over.
Well, I know. I think it's about how they're going to play you in a certain situation,
right.
And,
Well,
and how we're going to play them because they're going to give us this look, and then they just go out and don't do it.
I think it was Peppers in the locker room that went on that.
Just go to that 09 doc where they lost to the Jets, and they intercut it of him being like, we can't let what was that tight end's name? Dustin Keller. I forget the tight. We can't let the tight end at the seam. And they cut it with like tight end up the seam.
Who just knew it was like it was like the 09 to 11. That's your sweet spot. Like Dustin Keller. I haven't thought of that name.
Was that a name?
Yeah, yes, that was a name.
That is his name.
Okay. Tight end out of Purdue.
Wow, we found the collection of 7 games.
Dustin Keller.
They're all
awesome.
Jets losses.
Names I haven't thought of in like 15
I'm still not sure
years.
that's right.
All right.
It still doesn't sound right to me.
We got to hurry today.
We're going to find out he played like 10 years early.
There's no buys this week.
No buys and nobody playing.
Yeah. So let's get to the listeners. 855-PATS-500 is the Ace Ticket Hotline. Web radio at patriots.com is the email address. We'll start with Micah in Delaware. What's up, Micah?
Hey, guys. I've been listening to you guys since 2015. Listen to every show. I don't call in very often, but this show potentially being the last one where Bill Belichick is the head coach, I felt like I needed to get on the record and just say, with all the success we've had over the past, 23 years, maybe less than the past 3 years, I'd be happy to watch Bill coach as long as he wants. I don't care about the record. We can have a season like this every season. He could lean into it, roll out on his rascal scooter, and create a Navy offense. Let's do power I right, every play for the whole game. And the only thing I kind of hold against him at this point is that he didn't extend Tom Brady that same courtesy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. No, thanks for the call, Micah. I think
I can't do that.
Yeah, I think Tom wanted to leave too. It's not like Bill said you can't come back.
No, you just can't leave.
Yeah, but I think.
Yeah, I think Tom wanted to leave, but I think he wanted to leave because Bill didn't want him back.
Sure.
I appreciate the sentiment. It's hard. It would be hard for us to sit here and take that point of view. And
I just can't. I can't say like I can watch this season every year and I'd be perfectly happy with that.
Well, the question is
just to have him continue.
I think to Micah's point, if Tom Brady was just not playing well, would you be happy that? And I got an email from somebody along those same lines. They were comparing it to. And I'm not going to hold up the show looking for the email, but they compared it to Red sticking with the big 3 too long.
Yeah, I think that was the right move.
Yeah, and he said that's what this team should have done with Brady.
Right.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't think that anybody would have been clamoring to stick with Brady if he was playing like this. Like if Brady was playing like Mac Jones did this year, I don't think people would have said
that would make me sad.
They can't get rid of him. They can't allow. And obviously Brady would have retired. It would have been a little bit of a different story. But
Yeah.
I mean,
That's the difference. Is yes, Brady had shown signs of slowing down, but he still went 12-4.
Yeah,
Right?
and here's the email. It's Max in Santa Barbara. You know where Santa Barbara
I got
is?
married just south of Santa Barbara.
Okay.
Do you know
Beautiful.
Max?
Yeah.
Probably not.
He says, I don't understand, especially Fred and Paul, how you could want Bill out. Who's going to be a better replacement? I guess whoever comes in will be done in 2 years, and all the media will roast Kraft for firing Bill.
No.
I know it's a what have you done for me today world, but seriously, Bill should stay until he decides to retire. The youngsters there probably would have ran or out of town. Red was loyal to the real and original Big Three until the end. Kraft should look at that example. I don't see anyone that can come into this market and withstand the media beating they will get. Bill has hit on plenty of good offensive players in his years, or have we forgotten? And any quarterback from the University of Spoiled Children should be avoided. Thanks for this show through my 2 decades of listening.
I mean, I think for me, if he could coach the team in a bubble, I think you'd have a sizable amount of Patriots Nation being on board of him being the coach. We've gotten plenty of calls about just get a GM. But I think this article illustrates how much that goes into what he does. It's not just coaching, it's team building. And it's a toxic environment right now. And nearly every team in professional sports with this kind of stuff going on, it's the end. Like, this is it. This is where they choose to turn it over. I get it. Like, if he could coach in a bubble and not have to worry about personnel and managing personalities and hiring a staff and, constructing an offense and all those different things that have caught up to him, the mistakes, they've compounded. And now he's stuck with a team with no Pro Bowlers, which I hate saying because I don't really care about the Pro Bowl, but I do think that says something about the talent level of the team.
If, and it's a big if Callahan and Kide are accurate, especially when it comes to the part about Bill O'Brien and building his staff, if that's accurate, it really makes it tough to bring Bill back. Because if if Kraft says, okay, we're bringing you back, that means you also have to tell Bill Belichick, you can tell O'Brien what to do.
Yeah.
It's not going to be you can come back, but you have to let Bill O'Brien do whatever he wants. That
right. Well, and it's not just offense versus defense. It's the front office versus the coaching staff. I mean, and they're throwing barbs back and forth at each other. So pretty much every single way that you can have dysfunction, it's happening.
If you bring Bill back, in other words, you're endorsing Bill Belichick, meaning he's back to ruling with an iron fist, and whatever he says goes. And so all these people that are disgruntled now, it's worse for them. So either now Bill Belichick has to clean house and start over in those areas, or get them on board. And how does he do that?
Yeah, or let Bill O'Brien hire an entirely new offensive staff.
Well, that's what I mean. But then that's him saying that I was wrong to not let him do it this year.
And I don't think that there's anybody who believes that Robert Kraft cajoling him into doing something is going to work out favorably for anybody.
Right. So, again, it's a big if the information in the story is accurate, but that's what we're going on right here,
Yeah, I'm just going on the performance. And I just looked it up. The last year of the Big Three, now clearly their championship days were behind them, but the Celtics went 51-31. The last year the Big Three was together.
But that wasn't the question back then, Paul.
No. But people wanted them to. They thought they should make trades because they need to rebuild this team.
Right.
They let the Big Three go to the end. That's the point of this guy.
Yep.
So they were 51-31. They won the division. They won the first round of the playoffs. They lost in 7 in the conference semifinals, which for Celtics purposes is not great. But so it is kind of apples to apples with the Patriots. I don't think anybody would be looking to get rid of Bill Belichick if the Patriots were losing in the division round in overtime.
No, that's true.
No.
The Patriots are like 12 games under 500 over the last 4 years.
Yeah, but the problem with the Celtics back then, it was people were thinking obviously about the future, and it took them a long time to get back after the Big Three.
But my point is, this guy is saying Red did the right thing by letting the Big Three. I agree. But the Big Three was still playing at a good level, not a championship level, but a good level. This is not good.
I know, but Red had always preached, like Bill does, a year too early rather than a year too late.
And it wasn't a year too late.
No, but it was in terms of getting value back to build for the future.
But they couldn't get value back, just like they couldn't get value back for Tom Brady.
Well, that wasn't the narrative back then.
No, but you're not going to get anything for 30-something-year-old guys that are playing out the string.
I'm just telling you what people were saying.
I know, and this is why I think Red was right.
Okay.
I'm trying to tell you why I think the emailer is right for saying the Celtics let the big three play it out.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't going to turn. It wasn't like the second time around when you had the second iteration of the big three, and Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett still had something to offer, and you got a good trade with Brooklyn.
Okay.
That was way different. Like, Bird was clearly done.
Yeah.
Which is why he retired.
Yeah.
Thank you, Paul Pierce.
Yeah.
Got us Jason Tatum and Jalen.
And that's the difference. Like, if there was value there, then you could have an argument. But there really was none.
All right.
Hi.
Evan has returned from practice. Evan has returned from practice. Yeah, Evan has returned from practice. What was the mood? Who wasn't there? What did he see?
All right, Evan.
The penultimate. Evan is back.
Oh,
this is the last one,
Last
actually.
one.
Yeah, right.
Not even penultimate. I was thinking tomorrow I'm going to go to practice too, but no
Penultimate
show.
was pretty good, though.
That's a word I like. It's a good word.
Penultimate.
So this is the last time, huh?
Yeah.
Gonna cherish it. Just give me
maybe
a
we'll do a
second.
remix,
All
or
right.
maybe we'll just revoke that song and give me a song again, but that's fine.
It's okay, Deuce. You don't have to cry about
Poor
it.
Mike.
Trent Brown was the only absence from Patriots practice today. Miles Bryant returned after missing a practice yesterday due to illness. Trent Brown listed with an illness, but hasn't been at practice, has been Instagram living himself from a Planet Fitness somewhere or something like that. I'm just going to, or maybe
It's not going to Planet.
No.
This is like
LA
Lifetime.
Fitness.
LA
Fitness,
Fitness.
I think.
Yeah, there's one down
It wasn't
the
a
street.
curve?
Yeah, with the here. Let me. I got the picture.
It's the one I
second.
go to. It's down the street.
Is
probably.
Lifetime
Okay.
Fitness.
So
there it is. There it is.
What is he doing? Like,
Let me see.
so what? Like, all right, like let's just let's play along. So they don't want him here because he's sick, but he's just gonna go to
not
Planet.
sick.
I know. No, I'm saying let's just play along, but he's gonna go to Planet Fitness to get everybody sick.
Yeah. So Trent Brown, not a Patriots practice, stretching only. So didn't really see much. Not that there is anything to see at this point, but that's what we got.
Okay. And outdoors,
Outdoors,
pads,
no pads,
Jeez.
no pads.
no pads.
Imagine.
So there won't be a padded practice this week.
No
more
I
pads.
think we're done.
Yeah,
with
we're
that.
done with padded practice.
No more hitting.
Yeah, and lower field.
Lower field.
Bill's going to have
Yeah.
the pads tomorrow.
Okay.
9 on 7. Let's go.
Any
Oklahoma
change
growth.
in the mood?
Of the players?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Was there any scuttlebutt about Callahan? Was he?
Yeah,
was him
that-
and Doug
well,
walking
that's-
around like
that's
that's
my next
right.
question.
Read my article.
You know, we've got
That was my
this
question.
big
Walking around
story that
chest out.
dropped. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Was there any peacock feathers to be seen?
I did talk to Doug briefly. Callahan was not there. I think they probably switch off or something like that.
Probably doing the media rounds.
That's
Yeah,
right.
right. So
Is that a peacock?
there was also, I guess, another report from Josina Anderson that there's NFC South teams, plural, that have been doing their due diligence on Bill Belichick. As
Atlanta and
Trying
Carolina.
to figure out if he's a good coach or not. Like,
Yeah.
What due diligence do they need?
I'm
to
just
do?
telling
Is
you.
is he really going to be available, and is he interested
okay.
in coming to us?
Don't spoil the fun.
But that's the due diligence.
All right.
I'm just telling you, and I want to pull up the tweet.
This
and
diligence was
and
due.
I know this isn't practice related, but obviously that this is what we were talking about at practice. So someone said that she also reported somewhere in here that the feeling recently is that it's mutual between the Patriots and Bill Belichick that
Yeah, how do you like that?
would like to move on. I don't know if that was this
Who
report
brought
or
that
something
up?
else, but
I divorce you.
yeah, there's definitely some teams starting to get their ducks in a row for maybe potentially make a run at Bill if he is available.
And potentially you could throw New Orleans in there too, but Atlanta and Carolina, obvious.
Yeah.
But Atlanta is definitely a candidate to get rid of Arthur Smith.
So like,
And New Orleans, wasn't he?
so
didn't he
so
spend
how
some
long
time in New
before
Orleans
that
last
relationship
offseason?
in Carolina
Did he now?
does David Tepper throw a drink
Oh.
at
Alex
Belichick's
knows.
I know
face?
what he's talking about.
Fine, $300,000 for that
too.
one. Yeah, it's Would you rather see, if Bill was not here next year, would you rather see him not coaching, or would you rather see him in the league still?
I'd rather see him not coaching.
Me too.
Enjoying life, come back for the Tom Brady Day on June 12th, go into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, all of that.
Maybe he should just go to Tampa. I mean, it's like where Patriots legends, go to retire. Like,
except
it's
for
perfect.
if they win, they're not going to make a change.
I know.
More than likely.
I know. I just wanted it that way, though.
I would like to see him not coach. I mean, I think in a perfect world, all of Fred's things happen too. I'm less concerned with that, but I don't want to see him coach.
But I can't deny, and this probably goes back to my same attitude I had with Brady that everyone hated me for. It's like, I can't help but be a little bit interested to see what he would do if he came into an organization and, just top to bottom.
If he goes to another team, we'll be covering it on this show. We'll be talking about it.
Oh, yeah.
That's the thing, too. Like you said, I'd like to see him
might be the
enjoy
biggest
life.
reason why I don't
Would
want it
he
to
enjoy
happen.
life not coaching?
Right.
I don't know.
No.
So Josina also reported, not that this is breaking news, but that she's hearing that he's still very much motivated to pass Don Shula and get the wins record. So retirement, I don't think is according to her at least, is definitely not on the board.
Yeah,
I don't think he's retiring.
Me either.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if he's going to have a job right away. I don't know what all the interest stuff. I'll trust her, but
the only reason why
I don't think he's retiring.
I brought up the retirement because we were talking about this before practice, and what if his options on the table are all complete rebuilds, right? Like it's Carolina, Washington. I don't know if I would count the Chargers as a complete rebuild because they have the quarterback, but like projects that are going to take 2-3 years.
He'll have to find Atlanta a quarterback.
Right, and he's 72 years old, and he's just looking at it from that standpoint of, A, how quickly can I really pass Shula with one of these teams, and B, I'm going to be 76 years old before this team is ready to contend.
Atlanta is a team that I think he probably feels like he could win with right away.
Yeah.
They do not have the answer at quarterback. They have a pretty good roster.
Yeah.
Now, I know that's, but nothing like, burying the lead. But he probably feels I can get next year's version, as I said yesterday, of Baker Mayfield, and they can win.
It's just an interesting kind of A/B study, of just like for this, how does he go about replacing the quarterback on another team? Does it correspond to what we kind of believed of him just needing a guy who doesn't make turnovers? Is that what he pursues again, or is it, or maybe he learns from some of the mistakes that have happened over the last couple of years and he takes a different route?
Yeah,
those things are interesting.
It's going to be fascinating. 48 hours after the game.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
That's why we should all just sleep here because of the snow.
What's the Top Golf situation?
Tuesday night, 5.
You going to play Top Golf?
We're going to go with Hardy.
We got a thing.
Thanks for inviting me.
Well, it's actually for Mike's brother-in-law.
It's for my brother-in-law who wanted nothing more in
life.
Oh,
look at that. P. Shaw, he's out now.
He wanted nothing
they got
more
him a cameo.
He wanted nothing more than a cameo from Hardy for our family Secret Santa. I don't know.
I didn't see the video, but he told me the story.
Oh, I have a video of my brother-in-law opening. So Hardy was like, well, why don't we just go to Top Golf? My brother-in-law golfs. And so I had the video, of course, of Hardy, but then I took a video of my brother-in-law opening it. And, you've never seen anyone more excited. And, when he heard, Perillo's going to be there, too? Oh, let's go. I mean, he's from Southie, he's total Boston guy. Yeah, he was so excited.
They love you, Paul.
Yeah,
they love you.
No, not like Hardy. You should have seen it. It was like Brady gave him the cameo when he found out, Hardy, that's Hardy!
It's like a 13-year-old opening, Taylor Swift tickets under the tree.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Cameos, that'd be fun.
You should do cameos.
Evan.
I think Evan could actually
break a
make
plate
some
down for
money
my
on
cousin.
cameo.
But
I think he
maybe
could.
if I put this on the airways, somebody will help me. Jess is a huge Bruins fan, as all of you probably have known.
You want to get Bergeron into it?
No,
I know
she's
him
a huge Tuukka Rask fan. And
you should be able to get that.
I've been wanting
Fred's
to
pretty friendly
on her
with
birthday to get a cameo from Tuukka for 4 years since we started dating, being happy birthday.
Can't you just sign up and do it? Is it?
I don't know if he does it.
I feel like he wouldn't be a guy.
Keep that in
cameo.
mind for
I don't know.
Sunday. We'll talk to Hardy about it because I know Fred Toucher is pretty close with Tuukka.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Oh, working on magic.
Big Tuukka fan.
Hope Jess isn't listening. It might spoil it.
Probably not. That's why I said it.
Okay. John's in South Beach. Hey, John. We're jealous.
Wish I was John.
Howdy, everyone.
This is Johnny South Beach.
This is in fact Johnny South Beach. Howdy, Paul. I was going to call in on for the Christmas game, but I literally fell asleep with the phone in my hand.
So did I. Only I was on air.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to call in on this topic, but I'll share this really quick. Topgolf with PP, the Deuce, and somebody else, and Hardy, definitely an auction item at a future Patriots Foundation.
Agreed.
There you go.
Patriots
point.
premiere.
Well, we could even invite Alexa Pano, who's the LPGA golfer that we sponsor.
Yeah, now I'm less interested now.
Right. Go ahead,
Get
Mike.
smoked by a 19-year-old.
Oh, that's cute. You hit it to the.
Hardy's like, he makes you look bad enough because Hardy's pretty good.
Yeah.
So he makes you look bad enough. A professional? Yeah.
Be interesting watching. I wouldn't
Feel like Grady. I'd split my pants.
Good auction item. I would estimate the Patriots need 2 tackles, a quarterback, at least 1 edge rusher, and some cornerback depth, and at least 1 wide receiver. So what I'm about to bring up is kind of not super relevant in that context, but I'll bring it up anyway. I would personally be okay with keeping Hunter Henry and Farrell Brown in drafting a tight end. What do you guys think about that circumstance?
Yeah. I'd be okay with it.
I would be too.
Yeah, I think that
There's not a lot out there.
one or both as like a bridge to whoever they draft, because tight end through the draft hardly ever produces as a rookie. Like that's a really difficult position to come in and produce as a rookie. The Matt Laportas are kind of, those guys are outliers typically.
Sam?
Yeah, I mean,
Sam. Why did I say Matt? I don't know.
I mean, Farrell Brown is
And I was like,
proven
I was
to
the
be
biggest fan of that guy.
Yeah,
a
the
great
Green
third
Bay
tight
guy's
end.
been pretty good too.
You know,
Yeah.
Farrell Brown. He's proven to be a good backup tight end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you say about Green Bay? I really
Is
like
it-
what they
hasn't
did last year.
Musgrave or
They
well,
took
he got
Musgrave
hurt,
and Kraft, but they
Kraft,
took both those guys.
He had a really good. I mean, maybe I'm just judging off the other
Yeah.
night. You see
Yeah.
a game.
They've been
I
sporadic.
know you guys probably didn't. Well, Evan did, but you guys probably didn't watch the game because evidently you don't.
Well, Paul, we did see him in person this summer. That was, just going off of that was, they're both been
Kraft.
sporadic, but they're good players. I mean, you'd love to have
Yeah.
that. I thought they were going to do it last year. The Patriots, they should have
Tucker
got in on
Kraft
that
was
class.
so, that one I really thought, like, if they're going to take a tight end in this draft, it's going to be Tucker Kraft. He was recruited by Alabama when Bill O'Brien was at Alabama on an NIL deal to go from South Dakota State, right? South Dakota State, and to Alabama, and turned it down. But there was clearly already admiration from Bill O'Brien's side for the type of player that he was. And
now, after reading Callahan's story, we know Bill O'Brien had no say in anything.
yeah,
So.
right. So that one I thought for sure that if they were going to take one of the tight ends, which to Deuce's point, they should have done this last year. Yeah. And that was a really, really deep tight end class. It was a really good one on day 2 and early day 3 as well. And they passed on the entire class.
I mean, Green Bay took Jaden Reed, too, who was a guy I loved. I mean, he's doing really well. I think I saw, too, the Ravens. Gosh, I wish I had the tweet. But it was something like, I think they drafted 6 Pro Bowlers. They've drafted 6. And that, like, to me, it was just, there it is. Like, that's, that's how
why,
you stay relevant.
Like, we've been fixated on the coach situation and not really talked about the GM stuff as much. And I know there's been a lot of talk about Adam Peters. And I totally get it and understand why. That's where I think they need to go, is go to a Baltimore, go to a Philly, go to a San Francisco, go to one of the teams that you feel like has done a really good job of building a roster with homegrown players. And there's the guy, and I can't think of his name now, it's Joe Herzig or something like that from Baltimore. He's like an assistant GM.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of people have said that he's going to be a hot commodity in this hiring cycle. I would find one of these guys that has a track record of being able to build through the draft.
Yeah, the guy in Kansas
Or
City.
comes from a place that does it well.
That's what I'm saying. My guy Bergonzi from Kansas City.
Well,
I love.
He's from Everett.
I'm a little biased.
But I'm just saying, like, if he might want to come home.
I also know the family a little bit, so it's not exactly like I'm unbiased.
We get some
inside information.
I told you I went to high school with his uncle.
Okay, well,
people know
call
that.
him up, Paul.
I've said it on the air.
Does he want to come here?
Ryan's in Colorado. What's up, Ryan?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I was just calling real quick to see about what you thought on the Patriots trying to trade Bill Belichick while the Rooney rule is in place. Doesn't that seem like kind of impossible nowadays to do that? I'll take it off the air. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think it is. I think it's a little bit different. I think, I'd have to go back and look at the details of what Denver just did. Did they have to, interview people before they made that move? I guess all these things are in play.
Yep. Patty's in Agawam. What's up, Patty?
What's up, guys?
Hi, Patty.
That last caller just kind of stole my question, but I guess
they're not trading Bill, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Oh.
So
Fred with the
confident.
The news, breaking news.
I know that Belichick said that he wanted to leave this team in a good spot, and with all these reports coming out, I mean, where do you think this team stands if he's gone? I know we're gonna have to comb through all the potential coaches and move on from Bill, but I mean, to me, it seems like he's kind of leaving this place in exile.
Let's look at a long time ago, and it's a good topic, Patty. Let's look at the last time the Patriots changed coach, Pete Carroll to Bill Belichick. Are the Patriots in a better spot now, 2004, than they were 2000 when Bill took over? 2024.
I think they're in a much worse spot because that team,
I agree.
That
they
team
had Drew Bledsoe.
Well, that team also had. I mean,
a lot
Ty Law,
a lot
right?
more than that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I was 8, but I'm trying to.
Brewski, McGinnis, Law, Johnson.
Teddy
Malloy,
J made this
Kevin
exact
Falk.
comment on the radio. I think
because that was the whole thing, right? Was that a lot of the players in the 01 team were actually Parcells. Players, right?
They've been to a Super Bowl.
That defense was great that year. We all remember it. That defense was largely drafted by Parcells.
Right.
Yeah.
So they don't have.
Vinatieri.
I will say though, writing something for tomorrow on this.
True.
The Patriots defense now has a lot of pieces. They do, and they still play really good defense and not, I would say, modern defense. I think that's one thing that they have innovated and they have evolved. Deuce and I have been looking at the next gen, the dime package for all season long. They play a lot of lighter personnel, a lot more now than they might have done 5 years ago when they had Hightower and Bentley and Collins and all those guys playing a ton of snaps. They've gotten lighter, they've gotten faster. They are up on the schemes and X's and O's part of it too. So it's not that defense, but I think that's the defensive side of the ball now. I don't think is broken by any means. I think that they're building towards something on that side.
Offense wasn't great in 2000, but they did have Bledsoe. They had Troy Brown. They had Kevin Falk. They had a decent line.
I mean, and if you really want to take it out, they had Terry Glenn still too.
Yeah.
That was before.
R.I.P.
In 2001 was the year he went AWOL.
Right. That's
so
right.
They had more talent. Now, they also had a tough cap situation in an era, before people make fun of me, in an era where the cap mattered. It was much different then. And they had some cap issues with, remember, Rucci and Lane. Ted Johnson was pretty highly paid. So, financially there were some constraints, and I think that's what Bill immediately did was he sort of stripped the roster down a little bit. But they had much more talent. Bruce Armstrong was on that team. I think Ben Coates was on that team.
So they were.
He might have let go of Ben Coates. That might have been the year he let Ben Coates go.
So I would say that they were in a better spot in 2000 than they will be in 2024.
Yeah, he went to Baltimore and won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it might have been. Yeah, so scratch Ben Coates. But I know Bruce came back for one more year. Now, they weren't real happy with him that year. I do remember talking to people.
He's fat.
Peoples.
Too fat.
They didn't feel like he was. They brought him back as sort of one of those guys. We need a veteran presence, and he didn't really fill that role very well, I guess.
Ben Coates is one Patriot from the past that I wish that I had more of a memory of watching him.
You can watch the highlights on YouTube.
Obviously I don't. John Hanna, those guys are way past.
He was Gronk before Gronk. I mean,
Ben Coates was very good.
I remember him vaguely, but it's not enough to tell you what he was great at or anything.
He was the security blanket for Bledsoe.
But he made big plays too,
did.
run after catch.
Yeah. His probably slowed down a little bit, and they started calling him for OPIs. Then he went over to the Ravens for a little bit.
Didn't do much there.
No.
Just real quick, we saw Lawrence Guy, Matthew Slater, and David Andrews at the podium today, and I couldn't help but be like, is this it for these three guys? I mean,
Matthew Slater was on the radio the other day and basically said it without saying it. He was saying yeah, I can't remember the exact quote. I'll get it in a second, but it was. We might as well have just said I'm retiring after this game.
All right, we'll let Paul eat. We'll be back right after
For
this.
once, he's right.
Get in on the action with DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of the New England Patriots. New customers can download the DraftKings app now and play free for millions in prizes using code PATS. That's code PATS only at DraftKings. Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
iPhone 15 Pro on Verizon. This holiday, trade in any iPhone in any condition for the new iPhone 15 Pro with titanium, Apple TV 4K, and 6 months of Apple One. All on us with Unlimited Ultimate. Go to your local Verizon store now. 6 months of Apple One, then $10 per month. $999.99 device payment or full retail purchase with new smartphone line on Unlimited Ultimate plan required. Less $1,000 trade-in/promo credit applied over 36 months. Promo credit ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. 0% APR. Apple TV 4K and Apple One offers require eligible phone purchase with activation on Unlimited Ultimate. Additional terms and conditions apply. Visit Verizon.com for details.
And we are back. 2024, the first edition of the PU Halftime Show, joined by Faith.
Let's go.
And let's start with some trivia like we always do.
All right,
so
what do we got?
Question 1. Demario Douglas now holds the record for the most receptions and receiving yards by Patriots rookie receiver under Bill Belichick with blank receptions and 548 yards. All right, so how many receptions does he have?
Ooh.
Question 2. If the Patriots win this weekend against the Jets, how many wins in a row will it be?
A lot.
Yeah, there you go. And question 3. The Patriots' blank overall victories over the Jets are the second most over any single opponent. How many victories is this? All right, so send those answers in to webradio@patriots.com. Matt, do we even have any T-shirts left? I'm sure there are. So, okay, well, you're going to get something. So send your answers in. But, guys, it is playoff season almost. We got one more week. And usually these Week 18 games are fun. You know,
yeah.
Like the Pats and Jets don't have anything to play for. So we're going to see, hopefully, some trick plays. Players are playing for jobs. That's what we're here for.
Coaches are coaching for jobs. Players are playing for jobs.
Exactly. But we're gonna talk about some NFL playoff matchups and potential scenarios. So let me rip through what if things stay as they are. If the playoffs start today, here's what it is. So with the week 1 bye for playoffs, we got the Ravens. All right, well deserved. Lamar.
Oh yeah.
I think he should be the MVP. I think McCaffrey should be the MVP, but that's a different
They
conversation.
both have quite the resume for it. For sure.
So for Super Wild Card weekend, we got Browns versus the Jags. All right, that's the 5 and 4 seed.
Yep.
Bills versus the Chiefs. That's the 6 and 3. That'd be a good game. And Colts Dolphins. All right.
Yep.
That's for the AFC. NFC, 49ers with the week 1 bye. Eagles at Bucks for the 5th and the 4th, with the Eagles being the 5th seed. Rams at the Lions, and that's the 6 and 3. And then we got the Packers at the Cowboys. All right. So, Faith, what are some potential scenarios this weekend? Who's getting knocked out if things go?
All right. So the biggest matchup is Texans-Colts, because that is literally win and in. If you lose, you're going home. It's basically an early round of the playoffs for both of those teams. And now that we've got C.J. Stroud actually healthy, back playing, I think the Colts I think Minshew and the Colts have quite the task ahead before they can just lock into the playoffs.
And the Texans with Tank Dell was scary.
Yes.
That's a separate issue, too, of why you're sending your number 1 receiver as a fullback on a play. That's how he got hurt.
Yeah. Side note. But, yeah, it's literally, a matter of win and in. I always get confused when it's like, all right, well, if you lose, but so-and-so wins and someone beats somebody and someone else beats another team, then you might have a chance. But as simple as it is, if they win, they're in. And then, of course, you've got Pittsburgh. They have a lot of scenarios that could possibly happen. They're like ties could be included in it, but they could still get in too, which is crazy because I feel like they've struggled all season, really just had a hard time at the quarterback position, but they could win it in, which is crazy.
So then another crazy one, and this is the Dolphins kind of did this to themselves, is the Bills versus Dolphins. That's for the 2 seed, right?
Yeah.
2 seed, and I mean, if Buffalo's been hot recently, them getting home field advantage for the first couple games is scary.
Well, if they win, they obviously clinch the AFC East.
Yeah.
But if they lose, they could not make the playoffs.
Which I would love that. I would love that. I'm sorry. I would love that.
Oh my
all right, what's
goodness.
some NFC stuff we got going on?
All right, some NFC stuff. We got Saints Falcons, which is interesting because right now there's 2 teams sitting at 8-8, which is the Bucs and the Saints. That situation is interesting because, honestly, up until New Year's Eve, the Saints had the upper hand in that, but then they lost to the Bucs. So now it's split between the two of them. They're both 8-8. The Saints are playing the Falcons, which technically speaking they should win, but who knows? Any given Sunday, right? And then you've got the Bucs playing the Panthers, which again the Bucs should win, but I don't know. So
and then you also got to throw in draft position for all of this too,
yeah,
which is crazy. But I don't know. So let's before we go in, let's say who do you not want to see get in aside from the Bills because nobody wants to see the Bills get in. Like for example, I don't want the Falcons to get in. They're if they win, they clinch the NFC South with a win plus a Tampa loss. But I don't want to see Desmond Ridder get spanked. I've seen that all year.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Falcons I don't want in. It's tough with the Jags too. Obviously they've pulled things together here toward the end. They had a rough patch for a while, but I don't know, 9-7. I don't really see them putting up that good of a fight, squeezing in. I mean, they have the same record as the Falcons. And Trevor Lawrence has been injured. He's been pushing through it. I don't know if that's going to be the best.
So before we wrap up, I guess we'll do Super Bowl picks a different time. Let's wait for the playoffs for this.
Okay.
For this one, let's say pick any team that you want to make a run, like an underdog run, or a dream Super Bowl matchup.
I mean, I feel like a dream, and I think we were talking about this earlier, was Lions-Browns. Could you imagine?
I would in Vegas.
Could you imagine?
And it's also the Browns with Flacco, just the old.
Which is hilarious.
He's been chucking the rock. So I want the Lions.
But technically speaking, I've heard a lot of talk about the whole Super Bowl colors and the logos being the matchup,
the script.
So I think it's going to be 49ers Ravens, purple and red.
Nobody wants that. We've seen that already. I don't want that. I mean, I want Lamar to get a ring, but I think the Lions, their time.
Wait, question for you: how early do you think the Cowboys are out of the playoffs?
Where are they at right now? They're home, but if they lose, don't they?
I'm not sure exactly where their home field advantage comes into it.
I think it depends. I think it really depends if they get home field advantage. If they get home field for the first round, then they'll lose in the
whenever they're away, I think they're done for.
Yeah, but that being said, if they somehow are away for the first round, that might be the upset. And we'll wait for Stephen A on first take.
Yeah, no, he's gonna be so excited.
But Faith, thank you. We're gonna keep running this throughout the off season. So I don't know if anybody wrote into Matt, but if they do, Matt, let me know what they want to talk about, and let's get back to the show.
When someone accidentally threw away the school play costumes.
Oh no.
Replacements were shipped with FedEx. And with picture proof of delivery, everyone could focus on the perfect opening night. FedEx, where now meets next. For residential delivery only.
And now, great moments in history.
My point was Alex was just saying that you couldn't imagine 2-8, and neither could have I. I couldn't have either because I thought that at the very worst they would just be.
I'm starting to think I am negative, and I don't ever think of that.
But even you, Paul,
I don't think of that.
Wow.
But you said
really
7 wins
you.
was their ceiling, right?
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily disagree with that. They're not gonna get to 7 wins.
But was their ceiling if everything fell in?
Right.
In other words, if they stayed healthy,
right?
Everything fell in place.
Right. But
everything was perfect.
Close.
The other teams got hurt, and you didn't. Maybe you could win 7 games. That's how I felt about this team.
But I don't necessarily disagree with that. If they're 2-8, Paul, they're gonna.
I thought if
they
lose
win
to the
4
Jets.
games, that's gonna be a lot.
I didn't think the offense could get worse than last
I didn't
year.
think that I would.
That's
co-sign on that.
But that's my.
I didn't think the offense could be worse than it was.
That's
and it
my
is.
question. Is just I think we all kind of agreed that 6. I feel like we said a lot. Six wins feels like the floor for this team. He's too good a coach to not get them 6 wins.
Yeah.
Why aren't we to 6 wins this year?
Yeah, I would have said.
I'm not ruling it out.
It's see, I would.
It's in the mix. It's in play.
I know you think I'm probably lying, but I'm not either, Fred, because I think there's some teams that they could beat. Just like the last couple of games they played, they could have won.
Oh, that would be a big mistake.
That's another great moment from Patriots Unfiltered.
All right, back here. What's that? That music usually says that there's something coming, no? Oh, I missed it. What?
Yeah, he did.
Was it good? Was it funny?
I didn't listen, but he did tell us that it was going on.
All right. What happened to Deuce?
Mike went out to finish his lunch.
Oh, he's eating his tenders?
He's embarrassed to eat it on camera, I think.
He wants only Paul to get
I
fat
get that.
shamed.
I get that. All right. So continuing our discussion, 855-PATS-500 is the Ace
You
Ticket
just
hotline.
threw out the last bite like that? What's wrong with you?
Webradio@patriots.com is the email address. We're going to do picks a little later, so we got to hurry. But people are emailing and people are calling and they want to be involved. This is heady times for the Patriots. I mean, a lot going on here.
I mean, what could happen Tuesday's show, between now and Tuesday's show?
A lot.
Everything.
A lot could happen. Or nothing.
Our lives could be either drastically different on
Yeah.
Monday or the absolute same.
Well, Alex, I hope my life isn't drastically different. I mean, whatever
Our
happens
work
with
life.
the Patriots.
Our work life.
Yeah.
It'll be drastically different.
Well, maybe. You're right. You're not wrong.
Bill Belichick Robert Kraft has announced that Bill Belichick is returning. His first action is to blow up the content department.
There you go.
I
He's
mean,
gonna take over hosting duties of Patriots
gonna be
Unfiltered.
like, what's that?
Took longer than I thought.
What was that thing back in the day when they thought that like I for a second there I was like, Fred, people are gonna think that you're like reporting something right now over there, and then
we had trivia during the halftime show, and here are the questions, Paul. Demario Douglas now holds the record for the
Capital
most
M.
receptions and receiving yards by a rookie receiver under Bill Belichick. How many receptions does he have?
47.
That's correct.
Sorry, I mean like that's not fair.
Brian,
I look at this stuff
Brian
all day.
Balitz is the winner. Paul, you can't answer this, but who had the record for rookie receptions as a Patriot prior?
Wide receiver or no?
Wide receiver.
Aaron Dobson.
Patriots are under Bill Belichick or overall?
I'm
You're out.
mistaken.
You already.
I'm mistaken.
He's
it
out.
wasn't Aaron Dobson.
You're out. You're out.
You're out.
I know who it
Once you guess once.
Who has
Am I
it?
allowed to guess?
Can I get clarification?
I know you know.
Was it
Okay,
under
then I
Bill
won't guess
Belichick or
then.
just in general?
It was not under Bill Belichick.
Okay.
Oh,
I
a
totally
rookie
misunderstood the
record for
question then.
receptions, not under Belichick.
Not under anyone in Patriots
then,
franchise.
Then I don't necessarily know the answer.
Terry Glenn?
Terry Glenn is correct.
So
90.
The one
And
under
Wendy.
the one under Belichick is Deion Branch.
That's what I was thinking. Was Branch.
Dobson had the yards record before
Okay.
Demario Douglas passed him.
If the Patriots win this weekend, how many wins in a row will it be against the Jets?
16.
16. Colin Mayo got that. And finally, the Patriots' overall victories against the Jets are the second most over any single opponent. How many wins do they have over the Jets?
167.
That's way
72.
Oh. I don't know.
Paul's close. Anyone want to prices right that?
83.
$1, Bob.
82.
No, 74.
Oh.
Tyler in Houston got that.
74.
So I was only 2 off.
So yeah, you were close, Paul.
I don't like
You
the
win,
ones
the
that
price
you
is
can.
right.
I don't like the ones you can just P-ref. You just look it up on Pro Football Reference and then you
Well,
know.
the Patriots have been around for how many years? 65 at this point? 64,
Yeah,
right?
1960.
So you figure one a year, it gets you to 64, and then some years they got 2. So,
Do the math.
Yeah.
That seems low then for the Jets.
Maybe.
Well,
a lot of years they swept.
The Jets probably were pretty good against the Patriots, like in the
Oh, you're just saying
60s.
wins. I got
Yeah.
you. I got you.
All right. Back to the calls on the Ace Ticket hotline. We can go to Dan in New Jersey. What's up, Dan?
Yeah, hi, everyone. I was hoping I can get you take on something I saw on Sports Tonight this morning. So Evan Cohen said his solution to this potential power sharing arrangement where Bill, keeps the coaching reins, but I guess maybe relinquishes some of the GM duties. And he brought up 3 names from the past. Some of these guys maybe not be available because they're on a contract, or maybe the game has passed them by. But the names were Scott Pioli, Caserio, and Tom Dimitroff. And I just wondered if, of the 3, are there any of them that you could see working for, and specifically, being able to develop a high-powered offense and also to be able to kind of challenge Bill over personnel decisions?
Well, that's, all 3 of them have history with Bill. The question is, if they come in, would they have equal power with Bill? Would Bill acquiesce to them sometimes? I don't know.
Well, Nick Caserio is not going anywhere.
No.
He's building Houston, so that one's off the table.
But the theory here was the GM would be above Bill.
Right.
Yeah. Scott Pioli hasn't been in 10 years, right?
Thanks, Dan.
Thomas Dimitroff is a I'm not for me, but like yes, like that's
same thing for him though. He hasn't been in
for a couple less time than Pioli.
Him and Pioli were together in Atlanta.
Yeah, but he was the GM of the Falcons when they went to the Super Bowl against the Patriots.
Well, Pioli was there.
Oh, okay. I don't
with
know.
them.
Yeah.
They were together.
It, I guess maybe is where my head is at.
But I don't. I'm with you. Larger point. I just don't see someone who came into the league under Bill, now being above Bill, and Bill being able to acquiesce to that.
I think the biggest problem too is on top of that is just like you're still giving the players to Bill to coach.
Right.
So like if you draft now. Some people go to the extreme and say, like, if you draft Marvin Harrison Jr. and he fumbles, then Bill's going to bench him for the rest of the year. I don't think he's going to do that.
Not the rest of the year, but the rest of the game.
But in terms of, like, style and play and how they play and the type of player and the mold, like, all that stuff it's still all going to just – if he's not a 250-pound linebacker, is Bill going to play him or is he going to move him to safety? Like, it's going to be the same thing.
Yep. Yeah, like I said, if the Callahan information is correct – if Bill comes back, either he's going to have to have done something we doubt he's going to do, which is give up more control, or a lot of people are going to be unhappy.
Yeah. Oh, man.
So let's go to Bill in D.C. What's up, Bill?
So, Fred, I want to respectfully disagree with you on your idea about, like, going up with all your draft capital to get the guy.
In terms of quarterback, okay.
Yeah, and I get why you're saying it, right? Like, you're thinking, here's someone you're convinced is a good choice, and you're optimizing for that future, right? Like, this kid's going to be 90% chance he'll be a franchise quarterback, so it's worth spending a lot of draft capital to get that person. My concern is that sometimes the less likely future happens, and then in that case, you've made a disastrous decision that has catastrophic consequences. Like Evan keeps pointing back to Carolina. So given the uncertainty about drafting and drafting for quarterbacks, I would rather see a robust decision that works kind of no matter what happens, like multiple futures. I'd like to see the Patriots do good scouting, make their best choices with the draft capital, accept there's going to be some hits and misses, and then over time do what you guys have always said is the problem here. Build up the roster through the draft carefully over time. Over.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's what Fred wants to do too.
Well, no, I get what he's saying. My
but
point
it takes
was
a hit if you put it all in.
Particularly to the quarterback, if you believe he's the guy, then do what you have to do to get him.
Yeah.
Because he's not going to be there next year.
Yeah. You wouldn't make this argument for another position either.
No.
This is just to find
not as
that
much.
quarterback.
Not as much.
Yeah.
No, not as much.
And I'm somewhere in between the two philosophies, but I think that there's this notion that quarterback is just so much different in terms of you can't do it for quarterback. It's just too risky. And, like,
it didn't hurt the 49ers.
Right. No, but my point is...
Should have. Kind of did.
Yeah. My point is a little different than that. It's just that, like, to Fred's idea of targeting a guy and moving up to get him...
If you have to.
No, but, like...
I'm also saying reaching. So you guys were talking about Penix. If let's say the Patriots had number 3, I don't care what the rest of the league thinks where he should be drafted. If I believe that Penix is my guy, I'll take him at 3. I don't want to take the risk of losing him because I believe in him.
I just watch team after team after team reach on the quarterback, and it happens every single year, and it always backfires.
Yeah, and I saw year after year.
But it doesn't always backfire.
Right.
That's my point.
No.
I saw
if it backfires, then it's bad. Like, obviously, what happened to San Francisco is bad. Like, you don't want to invest.
Or the Jets,
you don't want to invest extra
Carolina
picks.
Panthers,
it was not bad when Kansas City did it, and they targeted Patrick Mahomes.
But Kansas City did it at a different part of the draft, right? Like
10.
Yeah, but that's a different part of the draft.
They gave up a first and a third to switch spots with.
And if you're going from 5 to 1, it's going to be a much different trade.
We got a flyover going.
Zamboni.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but to me, it's not about what you give up. It's about do you hit? Like, that's where I agree with Fred. Like, if you miss, I don't care if I don't give up. Like, if I miss, and not like San Francisco. I missed. Like, it hurts. Even when you're San Francisco, it hurts to make a trade for the number 3 pick and miss. It's not good.
I think,
but like you have to have strength in your conviction the same way.
Fortune favors the bold.
But the same way that the caller is talking about, I want to just do it by trusting the safe way of scouting and drafting and developing. Yes, that's what Fred's doing.
Right.
He's scouting, drafting, and developing the guy that he targets.
And I'm trusting my scouts.
Like,
you can't trust him that much.
It could be wrong. That's why, like, I don't think Evan's wrong. Like that. That's why I'm in the middle here. But I just think you're doing the same thing, only you're increasing the risk by trading picks.
Yeah.
Like, it's still reliant on you getting it right.
I feel like you almost need a personal connection with that court. Like, you have to have above and beyond information, not just like we just love his tape that much.
Oh,
like it's almost like to do that, you're like
it's the
I coached him
psychological
already.
evaluation. It's the medicals. It's knowing his group of friends. It's knowing his coaching staff. It's
who's he hang out
his
with?
blood type.
Yeah,
I just,
Evan jokes like that's
that
not
would have
important.
helped the Patriots in a few instances.
No, I'm just messing.
Who your friend?
I think the. I don't know.
Friends are off the rails.
I don't know what that means, but
I do.
I do. Off the air. I think the biggest thing though is, like, the one thing draft philosophy that the Patriots adhere to that I actually agree with is tiering players. Like, if you really feel that Caleb Williams is so far and above the rest of this class, then I can maybe get on board with what Fred is saying. The problem that I have is what's the difference at the end of the day between Drake May, Michael Penix, Jaden Daniels?
So this
right?
is this is different. I agree with him on this.
If your staff
1,000%.
feels the way you are, then I agree. But if my staff says that we have a chance to get Caleb Williams, he is far and above everybody else. We have the shot. Take the shot. Take the shot, as Eminem says.
I just think that
you only have one.
At the end of the
you only
day,
have one shot.
I think at the end of the
That's
day,
what he says.
it's
vomit on
falling in love with a player like that so much.
Mike, you like my Eminem reference?
Oh,
Matt.
His name is Matt, and you butchered the reference in the middle of Evan talking.
The sentiment was right. You only get one shot. Do not miss this time.
Right.
Don't miss.
Eat your mom's spaghetti.
That's true.
Vomit on the Oh man,
Merle's
about to just spit it all out at us right now, like word for word. I'm sure he could do it too.
Nervous.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Evan.
That's okay. I just think that the worst thing that teams do is fall in love with the prospect. It's the worst thing to do when it has to be this guy. We can't. If we don't come out of the draft with Caleb Williams, the whole offseason's a failure, and you can't approach it that way.
But your philosophy of tiers, I would wholeheartedly agree with. And I think there probably is some truth to that in this particular group of quarterbacks. You could probably pull a lot of guys around the NFL with these four guys and maybe get some different answers. So that's fine. I don't think that you would have pulled a lot of guys and gotten different answers with, like, Andrew Luck.
Or Trevor Lawrence.
Lawrence.
No,
okay.
And I think
so
Caleb might be in that category.
That's what we're
He might.
talking about.
Right.
Like, I probably don't think he is, even though I like him more than everybody else. I don't really think that he is in that category. But that's the difference. If you just tier it up, then absolutely you don't do the Fred thing.
Right.
Like if I'm going to be happy with Drake May or Jaden Daniels, I don't need to do a bold move up the board. But if I only think one of those guys is going to be a good player, and I really need that player,
I just think
I can see Fred's
you have
side.
to look at it too, like. So I take the first two picks in the draft, for example. You could have, Jaden Daniels and the left tackle from Washington, Fontenot, who's going to be a pretty good player, people think. Or you could have Joel and Michael Penix at the top of the second round, right? And you have to look at, like, which bucket would you rather
Right. And if you're willing to do that, then obviously you don't think that the quarterback is that good or that much better. You're willing to
And I would
settle.
just argue that I
Maybe.
think that's generally largely a Patriots philosophy that has not done them well.
But I also think with
in
Penix,
recent years.
there's context. Like, the rest of the league might get medical reports on Penix that his knees are a ticking time bomb, and that's why he doesn't end up going in the first round. But at the top of the second round, that's going to be worth the risk. Just like we were talking about Gronk, yesterday.
Yeah.
But that's not worth the risk in the top 10.
Right.
But I would say, and this is funny, Fred and I used to argue about this at the time. Like, I think the Gronk pick at the time, and this is not revisionist history because Andy was on the show at the time, and Andy, that it's probably the singular prospect that he loved
only one he ever
the
got
most.
right.
That's true.
Yeah.
But he loved him. and we were all on board with the Gronk pick. We thought it was a great pick. I don't think picking Gronk in the second round in 2024 would be a great pick for this team. I don't think that kind of a risk would be a great pick.
Yeah, that's a
like
fair point.
that's the difference in where they were and the status that Bill had then, as opposed to where they are now.
You could take those risks at those positions.
I just think that a big part, and I said this to Barth as we were arguing it with each other per usual, a big part of the job when it comes to the draft is knowing the board.
Sure.
And knowing how the rest of the league values a player. And the reason why the Patriots are in this position, partially, is because they took Cole Strange a full round before the rest of the league thought that he should be drafted. So if let's take Jaden Daniels, Michael Penix, whoever, if the Patriots take that player 5th overall and the rest of the league was like, I don't know, our doctors checked out Michael Penix and like we didn't have him in the first round because his knee is going to blow in 3 years, then that was a mistake. You overdrafted the player. Yeah. And I feel the same way if the league looks at Jaden Daniels and finds flaws in his game or whoever. Like you can't. Reaching on players is how you get into.
It's
into
funny
mistakes.
though, for many years, people were just furious at Belichick and the Patriots for constantly trading down, and now it seems this year everyone's like open to that idea.
Because they have so many.
Now
holes.
that they have a high pick,
I don't think a lot of people. I mean, I have actually said it, but I don't think a lot of people are open to that.
I'm hearing like an openness.
It depends on where you fall.
Yeah.
I think a lot depends on Sunday.
Like this whole idea of trade down, get a tackle, and then maybe you can trade back up and still get a quarterback.
I mean, if you end up at 4 or 5, though, you might just have to take the tackle if you really want to tackle. But I'm open to it, but I totally understand people who are like, hell no, get the guy.
I think in people look at it and they say, oh, trade down, so you get 4. Trade down to like 8, and you get a tackle. Okay, maybe you feel better about taking one of the tackles at 8 than you do 4. And then you can get a quarterback. Well, the other pick isn't coming till the second round.
Right.
You're not getting like another first-round pick.
Right.
You're switching spots, and you're getting like maybe a future one, maybe, depending on how far the team has to come, or more likely a second-rounder.
That's
or 2.
Right, and then
but then
you package them together.
Right.
No, I know, but where are you getting the quarterbacks? They're all going to be gone.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Unless you just want the scraps.
Yeah.
Like
or
again, you can get J.J. McCarthy if he even comes out.
I'm not convinced, and I'm not convinced that all 4 quarterbacks are going to be gone that quickly. I think that Penix's medicals are a big question mark.
Yeah.
And I think
If
that
they're
Jaden
not-
Daniels as a passer is going to be a question mark to a lot of people in the league.
But see, this is weird. If they're not, then I have less interest in them. Do you know what I mean? Like if these guys aren't all like top 15 players, according to the whole league,
right? But
then I'm not as interested.
But they won't be top 15 players because of like context, though, right? Like it'll be because Penix is in injuries, or it'll be because some teams don't want to.
Definitely in Penix's situation, I would say yes.
They don't want to adapt their entire offense to fit somebody like Jaden Daniels. Like there's a reason why Lamar Jackson went 32nd overall,
right?
And I'm not convinced 5 years later that the same guy is going to go any higher than Lamar did. Not yet. Like I just think that there's still a lot of that old school thinking around the league that guys like that we're gonna have to tailor it, and he's run first, and he's better with his legs than he is with his arm, and like we're gonna have to adapt everything, and like I don't think that every team is gonna be willing to do that.
All right, couple more calls and then we'll get to picks. We'll go to Fidel in Tampa. What's up, Fidel?
Hey, how are you guys doing?
Good.
Hey.
Good. I've been a huge fan. I've called numerous times. Actually, Fidel from Cyprus, back when you guys had that board of all the people.
Oh, we still got it.
There you go. I had a quick funny story and then my point. I was walking through Home Depot trying to find a new filter for my fridge, and as I'm walking past the washer and dryer, I just hear that one of the guys go, "Yeah, you got to go with Speed Queen. They're the best."
There you go. There you go. Now you know where I was this weekend.
Yeah. Oh, you had to buy another one?
Goes, yeah, they use them all those commercial laundry mats. I was almost on the ground crying.
Yeah. There you go. Did you get? So you don't have a Speed Queen at home, I take it.
No, I don't have a.
Well, you wouldn't be going out to look for a new one if you had one.
He said a filter for his fridge.
No, I know. Just joking.
Yeah, I was getting.
Which, by the way, I have issues with that.
I got a filter for my fridge.
Yeah, that's a scam.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
They have like automatic reorder. Like this is a scam.
Yeah. Anyway.
What are we talking about?
Fridge
but my
filters.
point
I
was,
checked out.
I've been holding
weren't
my
talking
tongue a
about
lot
football.
with everything Bill's done, but I honestly think he should go, because even if you draft the best quarterback available, Bill's maybe 2 more years,
Right.
and that's a whole new coaching turnover then.
Yep.
And then the whole point with drafting a Michael Penix, that he may be great, but his injuries in 2-3 years get him out of the league, or drafting an okay QB. Like, look at the Vikings. They have the best offense with Jettas, Justin Jefferson, and Mario Addison, and they have Kirk Cousins, and they have not gone any further than the divisional round. So even if you have the best offense, defense, that subpar quarterback is not going to get you over the hump.
Yeah, he can definitely be the deterrent.
Yeah. To be fair, Kirk Cousins and
Thanks, Fidel.
Jordan Addison.
You do know he tore his Achilles, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but this isn't the first year he's been the.
Wait, it's the first year he had that offense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's had.
Yeah, I mean, I should say the defense, but
B-flow.
I don't know how far Minnesota would have gone, but Minnesota's not the gold standard for offense in the league because they have Justin Jefferson as the best receiver. There's a lot more that goes into that.
Yeah. Michelle's in South Carolina. Hey, Michelle.
Hey guys, how are you?
Good.
Doing great, Michelle.
I thought you only called when Hardy was here.
No, for me now.
Oh.
I'm following you guys now.
Oh,
See?
thanks, Michelle.
See?
You guys.
She can't get up early and talk to Hardy.
You didn't say Paul.
She can't get up and talk
I
to Hardy
know.
early.
I gotta set my alarm. I like to sleep.
For noon?
So, listen. So we're talking about Bill. I was on the fence, 60-40, he was saying. Now it's a little bit lower. But I can't imagine him leaving here and not having a job. That just, to me, is beyond. I have to imagine he's talking to somebody.
Yeah, I agree.
Leaving.
Yep.
Okay, so we're going to get a quarterback. And it's going to be, a top 6 quarterback, top 5,
Yep.
whatever it is.
Maybe.
So
I mean, they'll have that pick,
who
but I don't know
is going
if they'll
to
take
be
it.
the bridge to him? I mean, he's not going to be started, I wouldn't imagine.
Well, why not?
So who are we going to get for the bridge quarterback?
Hopefully a higher round first round pick. I don't.
If they get, I can't imagine Chicago's not going to get rid of Fields.
No.
I don't know about that.
Maybe,
So
but
Yeah, I don't think they're going to get rid of him
who are we
either.
looking at?
I don't necessarily know that the rookie won't be ready to start right away.
Well, whether he's ready or not,
right?
Why? I wouldn't. They had Cam Newton before.
They're gonna have to
and
sign
they,
somebody.
and
You
they
can't
let
just say-
Max start right away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bailey Zappi.
Bailey.
Do you think it built?
That's what I would say, Michelle. But
I mean, but it's not you're not trying to win, necessarily, right? I know that sounds crazy, but
what are we doing here?
But you're not you're not. You're paying Jacoby Brissett's going to make probably some real backup quarterback money next year, maybe I don't know, $8 to $10 million, something like that.
If you're bringing him in with the chance to start, yes, I would say $10 million.
Right. So is that the best interest, or if the guy's not ready and Bailey Zappi starts for the first month of the season, you're building something for the next 10 years, not for the next 8 weeks of the season.
Right.
I
agree.
All right.
Okay, guys,
Thanks, Michelle. Appreciate it. One more call, and then we're going to get to picks. Eldred. What's up, Eldred?
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, how y'all doing?
All right.
Evan, I disagree with you 100%. 100%. But like I said before, I heard y'all earlier, and if that report is true about Bill O'Brien and Bill and all that, about the offense stuff, and everybody, Deuce, you talking about, well, he did it for 20 seasons, let him come back and do it again? Are you nuts? Or do you really want that again?
Sorry, say that again.
Bring him back.
Bring back who?
So when you said bring back Bill, let Bill do the draft and everything, and instead of handing the keys over to somebody else,
yeah,
it
Deuce,
might do
bad
a whole
take.
lot better.
Yeah, no, that's what I definitely want.
Than Bill.
No, I don't.
Me too. Get the keys to somebody else. Get Bill out the building. Time pass.
Yeah.
Get their reports and everything is true.
Eldred, what do you disagree
But,
with me on? What do we disagree?
Panic.
Oh, what about
Panic.
him? Oh.
Okay.
Whoa.
Okay. You keep throwing up injuries. Okay, like that, like you said yesterday. Well, that 1 year with Washington, just like Mac Jones 1 year at Alabama. No, it's not.
I didn't say
He
that.
had 4 years. Yes, you did.
He's old too. Evan said
Yeah,
he was
you did.
old.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No.
Kind of compare. Play it back. I can play it back for you. play it back.
You can play it back on YouTube.
But he did with Indiana. He got hurt in Indiana. I understand he got hurt, and he can run, but he got hurt in Indiana. He came to Washington, and then, like I said, he shows a whole lot better. He got some receivers. Yeah, he got a line. Then you said put May in there, he'd be the same. No, it won't be the same. It won't be the same.
Okay.
Because if Matt
Where did
Jones,
you talk?
If Matt
This
Jones,
is on Catch-22, I assume.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go
No,
ahead.
okay, so what I said about the Mac thing with Penix is, Elder, I think you could admit to this too. Like, we have to learn from why Mac Jones failed. And
I know why.
one of the big reasons why Mac Jones failed, it turns out, is that the Alabama supporting cast made him look better than he is. So with Penix, I agree that the eye test tells me that he's a more talented player than Mac Jones was in college, but you still have to put some thought into the fact that he's throwing to 3 top 100 wide receivers behind one of the best offensive lines in college football. So how much better is he talent-wise that bridges that gap? Like, is it good enough? The injuries, you have to talk about the injuries. The guy had 4 season-ending injuries.
I understand injuries. But in Indiana, the wide receiver was so, and he was still top.
Yeah.
He's still throwing.
Yep. No,
he's still running.
No doubt.
So like I said, you made my case for me. You keep saying you can't have a quarterback to do it on his own. You need some help. But then again, on the other hand, you keep saying, see if he left everybody behind him with less talent. We had proof that it can't be done in New England. Look at Zappy. Look at Matt.
He is not going to have the talent gap that he has right now at Washington compared to his level of competition is not going to be the same in the NFL, regardless of how good of a team he put around him.
Thanks, Eldred.
It's not going to happen.
Eldred's caffeinated. There was a lot of
I like when Eldred brings it. I would just say one minor thing. Like, I think we're sort of just saying, yeah, the injuries are legit. Well, he keeps saying how in Indiana he ran. He's torn his ACL twice since then. He doesn't run anymore. Like, that's not, like, just circumstantial. Like, he's not a runner anymore.
He ran a little bit in the Sugar Bowl. But
he did. He made some plays off platform that were, kind of impressive.
I wonder if, like, that's in his back pocket only in a championship-type game situation because of the injuries. They don't want him to get hurt.
Yeah.
So they're protecting him the rest
I
of the
just
time.
don't... when a guy attempts to run in 6 seasons of play, the most times I think was 35. I looked up yesterday. He's not a runner.
Yeah. No, he's not a runner. He's more of like I said yesterday, he's more of like a Tua, like move off your spot and throw.
Yeah,
type
and
of
that's
guy.
fine. If he can throw the ball the way he did on Monday, like I don't need him to run around and be a dual threat. Absolutely not.
All right, good show. Good. Appreciate the emails. Appreciate the callers. But now it is that time of the week. Paul, what happened last week?
Yeah, you guys all did well. Mike, Alex, and Evan all 12-4. I was 11-5, and Fred was 10-6. So it was a good week for everybody,
except me.
With the spread, it was Mike, Alex, and Paul at 9-7, Fred at 8-8, and Evan 7-9.
How was I so good straight up but so bad?
Because it's
usually
separate.
how it
Because
works.
you just pick the favorites every week without
Yeah,
even thinking about it.
You don't even watch the
I
game,
have
bro.
no idea.
Watch the tape.
Casual.
So Alex has extended the lead by a game, 164-92.
Little peacocking.
Followed by Paul at 160-96. Mike 157-99. Evan 155-101, and Fred 153-103. With the spread, it's just a blowout. Paul 134-111-11. Alex 124-121-11. Good job, you're now making money.
Hell yeah.
Let's see.
But not actually.
No, last week was only one game over, so actually she wasn't. 3 games over will get you. That'll get you some money.
Yeah, the VIG,
You don't
right?
have to worry about the VIG.
The VIG, yes.
Let's see. Got it right. Fred 118-127-11. Evan 117-128-11, and Mike 113-132-11.
You ain't first or last, Mike.
I got four wins. I'm coming to get you.
I think on Tuesday we were talking about the Lions game, and now that betting is legal, the league will need to be more transparent. It's a bigger deal now. And somebody, one of our listeners from Australia, emailed me and said, in Australia betting has been legal for a long time, and we have Australian rules football and rugby, and the refs suck there too.
Yeah.
And life goes on.
Yeah.
Like it didn't, with bad calls, like people haven't sued these leagues and everything. So they're saying that you can still have bad calls and it'll be fine, even though that gambling is legal.
Yeah. Australians are crazy like us, though.
I just don't. Yeah, I don't think. I think that's way overblown. That part of it.
Yeah.
Me too.
Like the fact that betting is legal now.
Yeah.
Because I
They
think
have to
if
have
you
transparency because people are losing money.
But if you wanted to be in a referee's pocket, like
I'm not saying-
legalizing gambling didn't change anything.
But I think the point now is when it was illegal, there was no recourse. Like you're not going to sue the league because you're doing something illegal.
I get that people are going to be up in arms. I get that people are more upset about it. I just don't think it changed. Like people think it's changed, like the importance of the outcome. Like, why? Because fans are upset. Don't bet.
Yeah.
Like that's the risk that you run. And when I say, like it being fixed, that's part of the risk.
No, but there is that chance. Like if it was out there that there was more than just a little fixing of games. Now that it's legal, there could be a class action suit against the NFL on the behalf of gamblers, and they could sue the league.
Right. But what I'm saying is, what was stopping people that were gambling legally in Las Vegas from doing that?
Oh, that's right. It was legal in Las
So
Vegas.
and I'm not saying it's not an issue because I do think it's bigger, it's more mainstream.
We really have to hurry.
But I'm with Evan.
Did the leagues have their hand in the pot when people were going and gambling in Vegas, or was it Caesar and MGM and stuff? Like
no, but there were
not a bad point. Not a bad
the leagues have a little more.
Yeah, Boston College and the NBA and
but Alex's point is now that the leagues are all in bed with the casinos, is that
keep it from happening?
No, does it make it worse?
Oh,
like I don't know. I mean, like it's like what it only takes one person to get really mad to start a whole chain reaction. But I just think that life, like you said, life moves on. Like, is anybody really going to remember the Lions Cowboys game and how it ended 2
The
weeks
guy
from
that
now?
bet
Like,
his child's college fund.
that guy's an
that's
idiot.
a bigger issue.
Like, yeah, right.
All right.
Like, that's that
And
guy's
by the
problem.
way, that guy, if he won that one, he would have
guy's
lost
a lost cause
he'd have lost the
anyway.
next
Lost
one.
cause.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
All right, so there's a lot just up front. There's a lot of key personnel on all teams not playing. I don't have them all committed to memory. Mike and I were talking about this a little this morning. So,
Who's the Browns?
just to the point where I couldn't even. And if you guys want to go on DraftKings now and see, like as of like 11:40, DraftKings did not even have the lines up. So I got these out of the Globe today.
Oh boy!
So the numbers
All right.
may be a little bit different,
Might
but
be under
whatever.
protest. Well, maybe we'll
They're
have a class
consistent.
action lawsuit against you.
So go ahead, Fred.
All right, so we have 2 games on Saturday.
Yeah.
The first one starts at 4:30. It's on ESPN, ABC, ESPN Plus, ESPN Deportes.
I love when he does that.
The 9-7 Steelers are at the 13-3 Ravens.
No Lamar Jackson.
No Lamar.
Oh.
Yes, a lot of Ravens not playing in this game. Steelers are favored on the road by 4.
By 4. Real quick though, I gamed out my picks today, and if my picks go, the Patriots end up with the 4th overall pick. I'm taking Pittsburgh. I'll lay the points.
Wait, you already did this ahead of time?
I kind of just was
Cheater.
gaming it out. Yeah.
Pittsburgh, and you laying the points?
I'll lay the points.
It's not cheating. You just came prepared.
Cheater.
I wouldn't know how to do what he.
There's
evidently did.
like a simulator thing, so you just pick the games and then it tells you.
Oh,
Yeah, it's very easy.
so you just picked every game.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we're doing.
I'm gonna take the Steelers as well. With the spread.
Gotta hurry, Evan.
Ravens.
Ravens. Okay.
Ravens.
Yeah,
So I
I'm
had to
gonna.
hurry, so I don't know.
I'm gonna
Ravens.
take Pittsburgh to win the game, but I will take the points.
Yeah, I'm with Paul. I'm going to split it up. Ravens lose, but they cover. 8:15 on ESPN, ABC, ESPN Plus, ESPN Deportes. 9-7 Texans at the 9-7 Colts.
Okay, this game will be played legit because
Yeah.
this game is the winner gets a playoff spot. Houston is favored by 1.
Yeah, I'm
so
going.
that flipped since I last looked.
Yeah, it might not be. Like I said, I went to the Globe spreads
I have
today.
Houston -1.5, so about the same.
That's
Okay,
fine.
so that's close.
I will take Houston -1 on the road, and they get in, right? This is for the title.
Houston,
Yeah.
with the winner of this game is guaranteed a wild card and could win the division if Jacksonville loses.
Yeah, I'm riding with Houston as well.
Yeah, I'll take the better quarterback. I'm going to take Houston too.
You're all on here. Yeah, I'm going to take Houston too.
I'm going with the Colts. Colts have been a game team this year. They're at home. I will go with the Colts to pull this one out. Sunday at 1, the 8-8 Buccaneers are at the 2-14 drink-in-your-face Panthers.
Great apology, by the way, for that one.
I regret it.
Tampa Bay, I regret not allowing the NFL security to handle it. Is what I think was part of his phraseology.
Perfect.
No regrets.
No regrets. I will take. Tampa by 4.5.
And do we know with Tampa sitting guys, or are they?
No, Tampa needs to win.
Then I will take Tampa.
I believe.
And I will lay the points.
That may not be right.
Tampa.
I think Tampa needs to win. I am Tampa also.
Me too. Tampa. 1 o'clock on CBS. The 11-5 Browns are at the 8-8 Bengals.
Okay, so this one,
one.
You get some funny stuff. Cleveland is starting Jeff Driscoll at quarterback.
Sounds like a gym teacher.
Who has not really
Hey, Mr. Driscoll.
played
My
all
good
year.
friend from college's dad is Jeff Driscoll.
Is he a gym teacher?
I think
No,
everybody
he's
knows
not.
Jeff Driscoll.
Is that conventional spelling for Driscoll? Not like this guy with the
Driskel.
K-E-L-L?
Yeah, no, it's with the
really?
C, the normal way.
So
Can't be a gym teacher.
Cincinnati is favored by 7. So obviously
And
the line is
they're eliminated.
Yes, so obviously the line is taking into consideration that Cleveland's not playing nobody.
Yeah, I'll take Cincinnati, but that's a lot of points in a weird game, so I'll take the points.
As will I. Same thing as Deuce.
All right, fine. I'll do the same thing. Gotta hurry.
Yeah, I'm going to take Cincinnati both ways. I don't think Cleveland's going to be into this game.
I will take the points. Defensive depth. Sunday at 1 on Fox. 7-9 Vikings are at the 11-5 pissed off Lions.
Detroit by 3.5. I don't know the situation with personnel in this one. Minnesota is not eliminated. And Detroit, I don't think, can move their spot.
Yeah, that makes it weird for me. I'm going to take Detroit, and I'll lay the points.
Yeah, I'm going to take Detroit. A pissed off Detroit at home.
Yeah, I'm going to take Detroit. I just think the Vikings kind of stink.
Yeah, and it's back to Nick Mullins, by the way.
Yeah, that's great.
So 3.5. I'm going to take Minnesota to win the game, but I will take Detroit to cover.
I will take Detroit both ways. Sunday at 1, the 7-9 Falcons are at the 8-8 Saints.
Nolans by 3.
Ugh.
And I believe New Orleans can win the division with a win and a Tampa loss.
Yeah, I'm going to take New Orleans at home. I'll lay the points, please.
Retweet.
Yeah, I guess I'll do the same. I did not put any thought into it.
So this is going to complete my
probably for the best.
This is going to complete my 0-17 season picking the Falcons game. I will take New Orleans.
Are you actually 0-17?
I can't imagine I've won any games with them. I have no idea what's going to happen.
They're the new Lions.
They're my Vikings.
Everybody has one.
Yep. I'm going to go with the Saints as well. 1 o'clock, CBS, 9-7 Jaguars at the 5-11 Titans.
Jags need this game.
Yeah.
They do. Jags by 5.5.
And Lawrence looks like he's going to play.
Don't know that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Jacksonville. They pull out the win.
Jaguars.
I'm kind of tempted to take the Titans.
Me too,
The
'cause Mike
Jaguars
Vrabel's just that
the
kind of
Jaguars
guy.
always choke in these types of spots.
Right.
But I'm gonna take the Jags. I'll take the Titans to cover. Field goal game.
Yeah, I'm going to do the same thing. I'll take the Jags to win, but I'll take the points.
Me too.
Think Vrabel gets fired?
Yeah.
No.
I don't know.
I think it's funny how
absolutely
everybody,
not.
Like so many people think Vrabel's like they have one more win than the Patriots.
Yeah.
He might leave.
But
he
he
might
won't
force his way out.
Yeah.
But he ain't getting fired.
All right.
I'd be really surprised.
Now we skip over the Patriots at 1 o'clock. We go to 4:25. There are no 4:05 games this week, Paul.
No 4:05 games, Fred.
No 4:05 games.
It's tough. That means it's a delayed start to Red Zone Paul.
Yeah.
I might
The
be good,
8-8 Seahawks.
In the snow.
The 8-8 Seahawks are at the 4-12 Cardinals.
Oh, that's way down my list here. Seattle by 2.5. This game should be played reasonably straight up, right?
I'm gonna change it up. I had Seattle. I'm gonna go with Arizona though.
Oh,
Arizona
look
at
at
home.
you.
Maybe that'll get Patriots up to 3.
I'm just going to go with the Sharps. I'll take Seattle.
I'm taking Arizona. I think that they're a little frisky. Those Cardinals.
I'll take Seattle, but I could definitely see the frisky factor.
Kyler.
Full slate of 425 games, by the way.
Can you pick them?
I'm going to go with the Seahawks both ways. All right. 425, 7-9 Bears at the 8-8 Packers.
Okay, I know no one on the panel knows anything that's going on with Chicago based on yesterday's show. Green Bay by 3.
What's that supposed to be?
Interesting.
You weren't here.
Interesting spot. And I know Chicago's been playing a little frisky, but I'm gonna go Green Bay at home. The Lambeau Leap. They pull out a win.
Green Bay.
I'm gonna go Green Bay at home as well. I like how Jordan Love's playing. I think he's been playing pretty well second half.
Played really well last week. I will take Chicago to keep their late season momentum.
Paul, you are correct. This is your upset lock of the week. Bears win. Justin Fields has a good game, and the intrigue surrounding his future increases. 425, the 10-6 Chiefs are at the 5-11 Chargers.
Okay, this is one with Kansas City playing Blaine Gabbert, I believe.
Yeah, that's true.
So the Chargers are favored by 3.5.
Easton Stick versus Blaine Gabbert.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Chargers. I just feel like they've been already kind of in this mode, and they'll be at home, and they're just I got them. I guess whatever.
It's so funny. I was thinking the same exact thing as I was typing that in.
Yeah, they're kind of used to playing.
They've already
their
been playing
backups
out the
and-
string.
Right.
Yeah, I'll take the Chargers, but maybe field goal game.
Take the
Chiefs.
hook.
Yeah.
Oh, she's getting cocky
The
now.
hook.
She's taking hooks and stuff.
She knows what she's doing, apparently.
I'm going to do the same thing as Alex.
She's probably like a pro gambler. We don't even realize it.
I wish I was allowed. Now that I know I'm so good at it.
I am just going to take Kansas City both ways. I don't know why.
Again, Paul, you're correct. Kansas City wins, and the next day, Patriots fans say that Mahomes is a system quarterback.
I think we should keep track of how many times Fred says, like, Paul's correct, and then how many times you guys are actually correct.
I like the Mahomes shot, though, was good.
425, 8-8 Broncos are at the 7-9 Raiders.
Raiders by 2.5.
Last game of the
this
season.
is for nothing,
Broncos
right?
finally
this
are on
is
the
for
road.
nothing. I'm gonna take the Raiders in Vegas. Lay the points.
You want to take Stidham?
A lot of gotta keep Antonio Pierce talk.
Oh my
Should be music to Patriots fans' ears.
Raiders.
Yeah, I like the Raiders both ways, too. I think they are playing for the coach a little bit. I think they like him.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They're trying to keep his job.
Yeah.
Anytime you let the players make that choice, good news for the opponents. I will take the Raiders as well.
What was the number here?
2.5.
Raiders are favored?
Yes.
I'm going to take the Broncos.
Just looking for a little juice?
No,
Because as Hardy likes to say, the action is the juice.
Yeah. 425, as I said, a lot of 425 games. The 11-5
You know what that means, Mike? A lot of red zone.
So many games, and you're going to be
all the more reason to have a 4-hour post game. 11-5 Eagles.
What's that now?
Are at the 5-11 Giants.
The floundering Eagles are favored by 5.
Yeah, I think the Eagles will pull this one out, but I'm going to take the points for the Giants. I think it'll be a slog, probably in similar conditions to what's here.
Eagles, both ways.
Yeah, I like the Eagles both ways, but the Nick Sirianni thing in Philly I think is really interesting. That fall from grace could be rapid. That could be rapid.
Maybe it took everybody a year or so to catch up to the offense, and now that the defense is sort of falling apart. I am going to take Philly to win, but I'll take the points because I just don't like the way the Eagles are playing.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Eagles both ways, just because they need to turn things around going into the playoffs. 425. I find I'm taking a lot of road games. 9-7 Rams are at the 12-4 49ers.
That's the playoff-bound Rams, for those of you
Yeah.
keeping track at home. I know you guys don't.
And
so.
who owns this series?
Yeah, somebody owns somebody.
The Niners own the series. However,
not in the playoffs.
Nobody is playing in this game for either side.
Nobody.
No Stafford, no Purdy, no McCaffrey.
Well, there'll be no drop-off at quarterback.
no McCaffrey.
Good
So
effort.
Niners are favored by 4.
I'm going to take the Rams. I think their B squad will be a little bit more frisky, and yeah, go for the upset. if you can call it that.
I kind of want to take that too, but I'm just going to stick with the 49ers. I'll give the Rams the points, though.
I'm going to 49ers. No drop-off at quarterback for them. So I'm going to take San Francisco.
Commit to the bit.
And I'm going to take them to cover the spread.
Yeah, I think there'll be a huge drop-off, but I'll still take the Niners because nobody's playing for the Rams either.
Yeah, 49ers win this game.
Who's playing at quarterback for the 49ers? I'm going to say
Sam Darnold.
No drop-off.
This is Sam Darnold against Carson Wentz.
I'm confident in that. No drop-off.
425, the 11-5 Cowboys.
How about them Cowboys?
Are at the 4-12 Commanders.
Dallas by 13.
The Commanders are actively tanking this game. Just keep that in mind.
Well, when you say it like that, I'll take Dallas, but I'm going to take the points for Washington because I wonder about conditions.
Oh, yeah, it's in Washington. Cowboys.
Yeah, I'm taking the Cowboys both ways. The Commanders are starting Sam Howell, who is objectively worse than Jacoby Brissett. And there's also a report out of Washington that most of their veterans are probably not even going to play in this game. They are legitimately tanking this game.
There's a definition of how to tank.
Yeah.
And they're doing it. You trade your good players at the trade deadline, and you go out there and play hard, shoot your best shot, but you ain't going to win any games. And by the way, your boy was going to start, and he pulled his hamstring. That's on Brissett.
Oh.
That's why he didn't start last week. Yeah.
Well,
he pulled his hamstring in practice on Thursday.
They're actively tanking, Paul.
Yes, I agree. I'll take Dallas both ways. The snow helps that. For a team that's tanking, they might not even get out of the locker room.
I'm going to go with the Cowboys both ways as well. And our final game on NBC at 8:20 is the 10-6 Bills at the 11-5 Dolphins. Game of the week.
Game of the week.
It is the game of the week. I just missed a bunny. Feel like Luke Cornett. Bills by 3.
I didn't understand anything.
Why did you just take a shot at Cornett like that?
He's one of the worst NBA players you'll
he's a basketball player?
Brutal.
Yeah. I like that other guy, by the way. I think he should play more.
Queta?
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
Quesadilla.
So I'm not just,
come on.
I'm not just taking a shot at the guys on the bench.
No,
I think
Queta,
he in particular can't play.
Little poor man's Rob Williams with Queta.
Okay.
All right, we gotta hurry.
I'll take your word for it. I'm gonna go Buffalo.
Only 7 minutes for the last 2 games. You gotta hurry.
That's why I did it.
I'm gonna go with Buffalo in this one. I think I don't think they're the team that they've been, but I like Josh Allen in this game, and I'm gonna take the Buffalo. Josh Allen's over Miami Tua's and banged up Tyreek's.
Yeah,
and Tyreek's house.
Everybody's hurt.
On fire.
Yeah.
This.
He's unsettled right now.
The roof.
Buffalo.
Roof.
It's not funny, Mike.
Buffalo,
His house burned down.
Yeah.
It's like some kid playing with matches.
A kid was playing with a lighter.
Yeah. Be careful, kids.
In the house?
Apparently.
Well, never mind.
It's fair. I'm going to take Buffalo in this game. I just think that I don't know if Miami's ready for this spot yet, and I think the Bills are. And I like the Bills in this game, and I like Josh Allen to flex on them a little bit.
Yeah,
me too.
I do think Miami's ready for it. Unfortunately, none of the players I think are ready for it will be playing in this game. So, and I know Buffalo's banged up too, the shoulder with Allen. But I'm with you guys. I'm going to take Buffalo.
I'm going to take Buffalo as well.
Buffalo,
yeah,
all around.
Yep.
Interesting.
All right, now we go back to 1 o'clock, and the 6-10 Jets head to Gillette to take on the 4-12 Patriots.
Patriots are favored by 1.5.
Oh boy,
so that means they're underdogs by 2.5.
Not according to your boys.
Yeah, I will take the Patriots to win. I think it'll be a slog, and points will be at a premium. I think turnovers are what kind of decide it, and probably will set up the majority of the points. I'm going to say Patriots 16-6.
I was also similar score, but Patriots 16-9.
Oh.
So I'm going to go bold here. I'm going to go very different from all of you. Yeah. I have the Patriots 27-0 in this game against the Jets. I think that one team is playing for their coach and playing for each other, and I think one team doesn't give an F, and the team that cares is the Patriots. I think that they have a lot of guys that this could be their last games in the NFL. David Andrews, Matthew Slater, Lawrence Guy, potentially, and maybe Bill's last game coaching, and I think that they put together one more kicking I said the
You could say
swear word.
kicking. It's okay.
So
I
what?
said a swear word. I realized that.
I did like the emphasis
but-
on the clean word.
But
Can I
kicking
say kicking?
of the Jets
Punch their asses.
to send Bill off potentially.
So I will be taking the Patriots both ways as well. 20-9. But I'm just curious. 27-0. What would that require for a turnover margin in the game?
Well, so the game
I'm going to say +5.
The game that I kind of going off of is like that Detroit game last year, where it was 27-0 with Bailey Zappi as the starting quarterback.
So yeah, like +5 in turnovers. That tracks.
Yeah. A lot of
failed fourth down attempts.
Six failed fourth downs and a fumble return for a touchdown in that game.
100. Yeah, exactly.
Might have been an interception return for a touchdown too.
Duggar, right?
Duggar fumble.
The fumble was Duggar.
Yeah.
I just think that there's one offense that's worse in the league right now than the Patriots, and it's the Jets.
Yeah, especially with Trevor Siemian.
And I think that those guys are playing, whether it's for
nobody
Bill,
turns the ball over like the New York
assistants.
Jets.
I don't know, but I
I
think
agree.
the defense is playing its butt off.
Yeah.
The reason I went when Deuce and Alex did their scores.
Because you also have the Patriots scoring 16.
They stole my thunder a little bit. 16-0.
Nothing.
Patriots at hat tip to the 16-0 streak. So
I like it.
I like it.
So Patriots win.
Wow,
this.
you guys got the deep pitch and shutouts. I don't think it's crazy.
So Homer.com is all on the 4-12 Patriots for the last game.
I know, right? That's right. We believe in you
Gotta
guys.
beat the Jets.
Snow be damned.
Yeah.
Patriots managed 16 points, and what could be an historic game. We'll see.
I mean, do you remember these games though? Like, I don't know. I just these games. Like, yeah, it's the last game, but I feel like it'll quickly be forgotten, and we'll remember the good times.
Yeah, I think that
Laugh when you want to cry.
But you also have the
Don't cry 'cause
the
it's
draft
over.
pick in this game too. And there's a lot of angles. I feel
Yeah.
like to
Oh,
this
yeah.
game that are
Yeah.
for a game that really means nothing.
Right.
It kind of means a lot in the same time.
All right, so pregame 10:45, possibly a last show by Hardy. So I mean, this is a historic day.
I know.
It really is.
Big.
Then the post-game show, 4-hour extravaganza.
Not really.
And then we'll be back Tuesday, but we go into our off-season schedule of Tuesday and Thursday. We did get some emails pleading that we keep it 3 days a week. Don't forget, Catch 22 will be every week during the off-season as well.
That is correct.
Yeah.
So that's your third show,
Yeah, there
and
you
we'll
go.
have our emergency podcast when needed. Don't worry, we'll be with you.
Maybe Monday at like 2.
Yeah, we won't miss anything. See you this weekend.
Thank you for downloading this podcast. Subscribe on Apple, Google Play, and everywhere else you listen. Like the show? Please rate and review us. Listener comments and ratings help keep us high in the podcast rankings so new listeners can find us. Be sure to check Patriots.com for more news and more podcasts.
The world's original podcast.